All right, we're back, and it is almost, well, no, I'd say it's safe to say it's Christmas season, Jared. You know, we are in December, and for a lot of the Americans out there tuning in, this is the time to give lots of gifts to your friends and family.
Hold on, let me do some quick maths. 1 + 1. This is coming. Do you know that song?
Oh yeah, that's
Big
a
Shaq.
good one. Yeah, quick maths. That was really big when I was living in the Czech Republic, and all my students knew about it. So they always say that line. That was like the line, and a couple of my students could do it with like a perfect British accent. It was great. Quick maths. Anyways, what were you about to say, Jared?
It is, so let me do some quick muffs. Today's December 12th, Saturday, when we record this. This comes out on Thursday, so that would be, 5 days away? So that'll be the 8th.
That's the 17th.
The 17th.
17th. Quick maths. I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure?
Am I right? Double
see.
check. Check me on
That
it.
is the 17th.
Boom, quick maths.
That is a week before Christmas Eve, bro.
Oh, so we're 2 weeks away from Christmas when the episode drops.
Yes.
So this is the kind of the final hour if you are trying to get gifts.
This is the time.
Yeah, so tune in. This is a really important episode.
Yeah. I should have got a pen and paper because I need to.
Well, lucky for you, Jared, you have the video files and you can edit it. And
That's
you
true.
Can rewatch it.
That's true.
Luckily for you have all the data you need right
here. I don't
here.
actually listen to it. No.
Debatable. I actually have been going back and watching them and listening to some of our pods.
Are you proud of my work?
I'm always. You produce very good quality audio, and the videos on YouTube, the thumbnails I really like them. So yeah, I gotta definitely applaud you.
Thank
you. And
you.
Also to all of our listeners out there, please check us out on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. You can shoot us an email at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Let us know some good gift ideas, especially some, dare I say, gift ideas outside of the box. Pun fully intended there, Jared, because I think it's always good every year to give people some unique and interesting gifts. And we'll be talking about some of those today and talking about different. I'm planning on bringing up some gifts that you also don't want to give, for example. And this topic idea, actually, I have to give a shout out to some of my students in my graduate course because we were talking about gift ideas.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, so we were talking about, and I had initially asked them, are there any culturally inappropriate gifts in China? Because for those listeners out there who don't know, I've been teaching a few courses with my former university in China.
Can I guess?
Yeah, guess a couple.
There are.
Yeah.
Sex toys, obviously.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that. I guess I wouldn't talk about that with those. Even though they are college. That's the funny thing, though, Jared. Like, I feel like American or Western college students might even mention that as a joke. Some of them, if they're really comfortable with their professors, some of them, not all.
Sure.
Whereas I think with
it would not be
cultures,
weird for a college student to say that in class.
Right. It would be the class clown probably, but you know, somebody would say it, and then maybe I remember a few professors we had that would definitely pontificate on that. Yeah,
expand on that.
Exactly.
See, that's what a good professor does.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Expand on that. Don't laugh.
And tune into our last episode, actually, if you want to hear more about education and college and useless and useful degrees.
Yeah.
But
sex ed, useful.
We didn't talk about that one.
Is that a degree? I guess
a sex therapist, I wonder, or is there such thing as a sexologist?
The only time I've seen a sex therapist is on some sort of reality show.
Right. Good old Dr. Phil. Right.
I feel like I've never. I guess I'm sure there's like therapists that help with your sex life.
Oh, probably.
But that seems like then we're getting into real science.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Not like
what were
hold each other.
What were we talking about?
We were just talking. I don't know.
We were talking about. I lost my train of thought. No, we were talking about something. We always go off on these ridiculous tangents here. What were we talking about?
What we talked about last week.
Gifts.
Yeah.
Gifts students should be giving.
Yes.
Though, and you said sex toys. That's how we got off on the tangent.
The subject.
Yeah. No. Let's. So anyway, I want you to guess at least 3 or 4 gifts that you think my students told me. What you give someone in China.
No. What you give them or what you don't give them.
Either or.
Okay. Because that was the question was some culturally
insensitive ones. Yeah, sex toys. Probably,
yes. But they wouldn't even bring it up.
Right. And they probably wouldn't know what they would be either. To be honest, it would have to be very clear what that thing was. I think because some of the ones for the ladies nowadays, you know,
that's true. They're just like
they're very ambiguous.
Device. Yeah, it's like, is this a USB stick or
right? Is this like a little stress ball? Like, what do I use this for? You know, so that's a little bit more ambiguous, I would say. But yeah, what are some gift ideas that you think might be inappropriate? We'll go with inappropriate, then we'll talk about some good gift ideas.
Clothes?
I don't think so.
See, and once I go back past like the obvious quote unquote taboo of sex stuff,
right?
I'm like, and it gets a little harder.
Right. Well, with clothes, a couple of my students actually said that was a gift that they would like, and that's an okay gift. But the tricky thing about that is also if you think about going about it, especially in different cultures, you know, most cultures actually you tend to not ask women about their weight. So how do you know their size? You can guess.
Yeah.
But so I
don't
asked,
get it wrong.
Well, the funny thing is I asked my students who are all girls. I asked them. I said, so you know, I was playing devil's advocate, but I said, okay, so if I wanted to buy somebody a gift. And they suggested clothes. And I said, okay, well, I don't know their size per se, especially if we're talking about Asian sizes and sizes I'm accustomed to here in the West. Yeah. I'm a 3XL. I have a couple shirts still from China, and they say 3XL on them. And I'm not a huge dude. I'm, you know, 5'8", 5'9" on a good day, you know, 175, 180 pounds around there. So not a super big guy. You got a 3XL over there, and here
You're
I'm
like
a large.
Between medium and a large.
Medium and a
here.
large, yeah. I'd be a medium or a March. You know, a March. Yeah. And so anyways, the whole point of all this is that I asked my students, how do you go about figuring out that information, the size?
Yeah.
And they said, you either ask a friend, you know, say, hey, I want to get this gift for so-and-so, and I want to get them a shirt or whatever.
A friend of the recipient of the gift.
Right. And then they tell you. Or they said, if you do ask the person the gift is intended for, especially if it's like your girlfriend, obviously they said you ask once and you do not forget the size. That's what my female students told me, is you ask that once, and after you know, you don't need to ask again, and you should not ask again, is what they said. So I thought that was definitely kind of interesting. So moral of the long story here, Jared, and the tangent is clothes, I think, are an okay gift.
Yeah. Okay. This is tough then. This is really tough.
These ones you have to think very abstract. Like, what do you think in Chinese culture might bring bad luck or bring misfortune or could even symbolize death or dying?
Some sort of animal? Anything related to some sort of animal?
They didn't tell me anything about that, but I'm not sure about animals. These are really abstract and obscure, so you might not get them. So let me just tell you a few examples. For example, if you were to give someone a card, just as a Merry Christmas or a thank you card, you do not write their name in red ink because that can denote that either they are going to die or you want them to. I don't remember which it was specifically, but so you don't write someone's name in red ink on a card or anything like that. Even if you were trying to make it like festive, you know, I just would avoid that in certain cultures, right? Another thing they mentioned is you don't give someone a clock or a watch. Because that actually, that phrase
is interesting.
Well, the phrase, I forget, they told me the phrase. I should have wrote it down. But the phrase to give a watch, and it's a specific phrase or idiom in Chinese, basically to die, more or less. Yeah, I'm really failing at this untranslatable co-host job here, I guess. But
the branding.
Anyways, the whole point with this is they said to give someone a clock is similar to saying the same thing as like someone is going to die, basically.
I could see. I could understand that connection.
Another thing with Chinese specifically, and we're using Chinese as an example to start the episode because that's what gave us the topic idea, right? And so the other thing that they told me is you want to avoid giving certain things in fours because
I remember that. I was thinking about that. 4 is an unlucky number, right?
Yes, in China because. I always say
it also means evil?
The tone.
Is that why?
No, it means death. So there's two different tones.
Okay.
I always get them wrong, but I'm going to try to say them correctly. So the first one is si. E-R san si. It's si. It's hard to, but that one's supposed to be the falling tone. That's 4. And then si, where it's kind of the rising falling, is death. I think.
So just because they're so similar.
Right.
Okay.
There's a lot of in Chinese. There's actually some really funny memes with the word or the character shi, because shi, depending on the
also similar.
Shi.
What's
shi? They have different meanings. I don't remember all the meanings now, but they have a bunch of different meanings. And so the funny thing is that
find death, is that what they put? Is it find the death?
I have no idea, but the funny thing is, you know, that's the thing with Chinese that's so fascinating is that for us as Westerners, I mean, yes, we do have we do have homophones, right? We do have words, or not. Yeah, isn't it yeah, we have homophones, that words that sound the same but mean something different.
Like tortilla.
Right, like tortilla and well, yeah. Anyways, the omelet or a tortilla. In Chinese, they have, I guess a Chinese homophone would be where they have the same letters, like sh, S-H-I, if you were to write it out phonetically, but then the tones dictate the meaning of the word.
Right.
So and it's the same with s for four, right? So if you have s, if you have these different inflections,
that's kind of like the same as affect and effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it's like, yeah, it sounds exactly the same, but
anyways, the whole point for all this was, anything related to four can be considered bad luck. So you want to avoid that. Okay, so now let's talk about some good gift ideas. What were some of the good gift ideas that you think my students might have told me? To give a Chinese person.
I'm so bad at giving gifts in my own culture.
Well, then it should be even easier for you if you think about it as a foreigner giving something to someone in China. What gifts might you give them?
Candy.
Okay.
I don't know.
Actually, that okay. Give me like 3 or 4 ideas.
Is that not a good one?
It's not. But
okay.
But give me a couple more.
That's
and
one
then
of the bad ones.
Yeah, that's one of the bad
See,
ones.
this is why I hate giving. Okay.
But give me 4. We'll do 4 since 4 is bad luck. Give me 4 here, Jared. So candy is your first one. What's your second idea? Gift idea?
I'd say like a T-shirt.
A T-shirt. Okay. Yeah.
I feel. Is there some sort of like game situation?
What do you mean?
Maybe you can like
cards, a deck of cards, or a board game. What do you mean?
No, maybe like in an app you can like give someone, like in Fortnite you can like gift them a cool outfit. I don't know.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's an interesting idea.
I don't know what the young kids are into.
The skins,
these days.
aren't those the character skins or whatever?
Something like that. Something downloadable content. DLC. Some downloadable content. That's what that is.
That's not.
Some DLC content.
We didn't talk about that one, but I think that is a good idea.
Jeez, I'm really striking out here.
Well, no, but I do know a lot of my students, especially a lot of my male freshman students, play a ton of video games or really more computer games. They're more into computer games over there than consoles. Consoles never really made it big over in China like they have in Japan and in the West.
Is it because the major one is one of the major ones is Japanese?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you.
I wonder if it's like a cultural thing there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a great question. And I don't know, to be honest with you. Okay, so you said candy, T-shirts, DLC, and one more. You're almost there, Jared. Be patient. You're almost there.
Okay, hold on.
So close. Breathe.
I need. There's too much dead air, and I'm stressing out.
I mean, just think about what is a gift you would like to receive from someone from another culture.
From another culture? I don't know, one of those little spoons.
Okay.
No.
So a trinket of sorts.
Yeah, a trinket of sorts.
I think
is that what they say, a trinket?
I mean, a trinket, a souvenir. I would say that's an okay idea as well. So you gave me your 4. So
Okay.
candy. So I'll tell you why, at least if you are gifting someone from China, why candy is a bad idea.
Okay.
So a lot of, and we're generalizing here. I mean, China is a huge country with many people.
I think
here.
billions. You can say it.
Well, I was going to say billions.
Yeah, you can say
yeah, they
that.
have billions. Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
I mean, it's more than a billion.
Right, definitely. Anyways, the whole point is that I don't think culturally a lot of Chinese people eat a ton of sweets. Like a lot of their foods, even their desserts, they're not very into super sweet stuff. So like I don't think chocolate or something like that is a bad idea, but when I hear the term candy, I think of more
like Skittles.
Like candy. Yeah. Like it could be sweet, it could be sour, it could be tart, but I guess maybe they would like that as well. But it's just not like sweets, I don't think are as popular of a gift over there than other things. So
maybe I was skewed there because like I just remember and now this is not in China, I guess, but from I remember from like a lot of countries, like that's something that like when I lived in Germany, at least, like people would bring and be like, oh, this is candy from blah blah blah. This is candy from blah blah blah.
Right.
And so and that was always fun to show candies or whatever food from your place.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought of that.
Well, and I think it's a good gift idea. Usually, I think I think it all depends on the person you're giving the gift to.
Sure.
So if you're giving the gift to like someone who has experience a little bit, maybe like a Chinese person who studied abroad and has like a, I don't know, then I think that would be different. Like I definitely have some friends from my
Sure.
TESOL program that are either back in China, and you know, I would totally bring them some like American candy because they've been over here. I know they like it. Whereas my only concern with giving someone candy as a gift, especially because I don't think a lot of Chinese people like sweets as much as we do, and we have so much stuff that's really sweet, that I just worry you bring these gifts to them. It's a nice gesture, but then if they don't like the gift in the end, like what's the point?
Yeah, sure, of course.
You know?
Sorry. So all right. Give me good gifts then.
Okay. Well, first of all, yeah. So you said T-shirts. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
T-shirts are, I would say, a solid one. You said candy, T-shirts. Shoot, what was your third one? DLC, downloadable content.
Oh, yeah. You
DLC.
didn't hear about that. You don't know about that one.
Which I think that's a creative one. I think that one, if you know games they like.
But did they tell you?
What games they like? Oh, yeah.
No. Did they tell you the gifts that would be good?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm getting to them. Don't worry.
okay.
I'm getting to them. We got time, Jared. There's no rush. Sorry, I lost my train of thought being a jerk.
Downloadable
there.
content.
Thank you. The DLC, that isn't a terrible idea, I don't think, actually. I think that's a pretty solid one. And the last one you said was
just the generic trinkets.
Oh, trinkets and souvenirs. I think that's a really good one. Even little things. I gave some of my students, like, I know it sounds silly, but like pens that had like Michigan State or something.
I actually was gonna say a pen, but I was like, nobody uses pens anymore.
You should see.
I mean, I do, I
Right.
guess, but
I do too.
I just thought these.
I think that's a practical and a good
these young
gift.
tech-savvy Chinese students were full tech.
No, they have notebooks. They have really detailed. I don't know if they're taught this or this is just how their mind just maps things, but I've looked at my students' notes before, and they are structured very differently than notes from like students I've had in the U.S. and in Germany and in the Czech Republic. So it's kind of interesting, and I think some of it has to come down to the different language and them having characters, and so they're used to a different type of visual representation, if that makes sense. But anyways, so they did tell me some good gifts. Now, I think it's important to note that these are also all college age girls in China, to give perspective to all of our listeners.
Oh, it's all girls?
Yes, all five of them. But so what they said, number one, that they said a good gift would be flowers are generally a good gift for girls, and for guys, cigarettes or occasionally alcohol. So some Baijiu, some cigarettes, but you also have to be very aware of what type of cigarettes you get, especially if you buy Chinese cigarettes, because I guess there are different tiers of them.
Sure.
You know, so
you're getting them like a gift level cigarette,
right?
Not just
exactly.
like some,
exactly.
Not just like your run of the mill garbage cigs,
right? Because I will tell you, I was actually planning on, had I have gone back
starting
for the
to smoke cigarettes.
No, had I have gone back the spring semester when the pandemic hit,
cigarette connoisseur.
Well, no, I was actually going to bring some of the security guards some cigs at my university, because they stood in front of the gate.
If you want to smoke with them,
they did, and they would always say hello. I would say hello, and they seemed like nice, cool dudes. I don't know. I mean, I thought, you know what, like this is a way for me to just kind of feel like, you know, you guys are cool, and I like you guys, and here's some cigs. Yeah, I don't know. And they all smoked cigarettes, so that, like, my whole point of gift giving in general, I don't care what culture you're talking about, is it a practical gift, and will they actually use it? That's always what I ask myself, Jared, and that's why you say this. I don't necessarily agree with it. Well, I agree with it, I guess.
What, that you're a good gift giver?
Yeah, that I'm a decent gift giver.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Well, we'll get into that later.
Right. But that was just kind of fun, though, having that conversation. Yeah. I didn't say, though, all the things my students said. So they said flowers or cigarettes was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Clothes was another one.
Wait, I think I get. So you said for flowers
for girls, cigarettes or alcohol for dudes.
So, but for the rest is both?
What do you mean?
Well, you said clothes.
Clothes could be for either or,
okay.
But they said generally, I think they said that girls would probably appreciate clothes more. But I don't know if I agree with that, actually. Like, if I got a cool like T-shirt from one of my students or something, I would for sure rock it and enjoy it and think that would be a cool gift.
I'm always down for a new T-shirt.
Right. So I think, especially if you're an American listening to this and you're going to be traveling abroad or working abroad in the future at some point, a hoodie hoodies are always a solid choice.
Yeah, they last forever.
Yeah, and with the name of a school, university,
you can never
state,
have too many. Because I'm also
hoodies are so
I
great.
wear hoodies around my home, so I always am just pulling a random one out.
Right. Oh yeah. They're fantastic. So clothes. Another one that and this was an interesting thing that opened up an interesting dialogue with my students a little bit about culture. Is all the girls immediately, one of the first gifts they actually mentioned for girls or for women was lipstick. And then I thought about it.
That's a tough one.
I thought about it though, and when my students actually do have their cameras on, a lot of them are wearing lipstick. But I think over there, lipstick is kind of looked at, I think over there, and I'm obviously not a Chinese woman and I've never worn, lipstick. At least the last time I remember, I don't think I've worn lipstick. And so I don't really know, much about that. But what I can say, at least from what my students told me, was the reason why a lot of them like it is because they say it makes you look vibrant and it's easy to put on, and I guess they have some lipsticks over there that are also good for your lips. So it's like maybe a lip balm and a lipstick. I don't know, and I don't read I can't read the ads in Chinese or anything, but it is kind of an interesting one though, because as an American, I would feel weird giving like a friend or even a girlfriend lipstick unless they had told me like, hey, I like this kind of lipstick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Any sort of makeup material seems very tough.
For sure.
Like you have to know exactly what they want in my mind if you're going to do that, because it's very that seems so easy to get something that they have no interest in or doesn't match them or whatever.
Right.
And it's like I don't really know what I'm doing to begin with.
Exactly. But that was one of the first ones that they told me.
Okay.
And then when I asked them though, what about for guys? They said, well, and this was another interesting cultural discussion we had was. They said, well, for guys, it really depends on the age. Obviously for girls too, but I think from like a certain age up, lipstick seems like it's an okay gift. I don't know if that's 13, 14, 15. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But at least all my students seemed that was a pretty uniform idea. And with guys, they said with cigarettes, really, it's more so for a lot of the older Chinese guys. A lot of the younger Chinese guys who are super into like basketball
cigars.
and no, they're just not into smoking cigarettes as much.
Sure, they're children.
Right. Well, even the 18-year-old dudes.
Is it
over
less?
there. And I don't know if they have
less popular.
I think so.
Sure.
And I think the more educated, the college students tend to be more aware of some of the dangers in some of these things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
Smoking
anyways,
is bad.
right. But yeah, so those were just some fun gift ideas from my students that
Okay. That might give me some ideas, Can we
Spread a little love.
absolutely.
I have 2 shout-outs.
Perfect. Let's hear them.
So the first one, this is also, I don't know if I saw this on social media. I don't know if you saw this, but
Oh, can't be peeping.
well, because I'm going to ask you to choose something.
Ooh.
So Time presented their Person of the Year for 2020.
Okay.
It's not really an award because Person of the Year is not necessarily like the best person that's done the best. It's kind of more like the person that has had the most influence on the world that year. So it's not even like it doesn't mean this person is like we support this person or this person's like the greatest person per se. So last year, by the way, just for reference, do you know who won Time Person of the Year last year?
Greta
Very
Greta
good.
Thunberg.
Yes.
Parada.
Chad Parada. So there were 4 finalists. Did you hear who the 4 finalists were?
No, not this year.
Well, I'll tell you. Well,
Okay.
No. First, let me ask you: who would you choose to be Person of the Year for 2020?
Oh, geez, that's a big question right there.
I can go first, and you can think about it.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
I would say Cardi B should be the Person
Okay.
of the Year. How dare you?
Okay. All right.
My reasoning is this is about like influence, first of all, on society. I think she's very influential on society. I think she's very every time she people listen to what she says a lot, and and people are she's also had a very influential song this year, WAP, along with other songs, I'm sure. Just is the only one I'm familiar with. People like that she, quote unquote, keeps it real You know, she's very honest with her feelings, and I think she represents a lot of people in a certain way, even people that aren't, that might not be a fan of her music, in the sense that I like that she's good at accepting, that she doesn't understand things and she asks questions, even if people might say she sounds ridiculous. I think she makes good points, and I like someone that admits when they don't know something and admit when they want to know something. And also, she had the very viral, very famous coronavirus clip, which is a
hilarious.
pandemic that essentially represented this year. Now, the people that voted didn't seem to agree. I'll say this, but do you have
so you
your
think
person of the year?
Yeah,
I say Cardi B.
Okay, I'll raise you one better.
Okay,
I will gladly raise you one better, especially if we're talking about a coronavirus. Dolly Parton. She'd be my person of the year because she has she's donated a lot of her own money towards COVID vaccine research. She just has done a lot.
Yeah.
She is an amazing woman. And I think she's done just as much, if not more, than Cardi B has.
All right, touche.
So that's maybe who I would go for. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of other people though for person of the year, because it all depends. Like, what are your parameters? And it's hard to.
Well, I'll give you some parameters as an example, because I think we're both also our parameters can grow. And I'll explain. So there were 4 finalists, and there is, by the way, it's been told, so I have the winner.
Okay.
But there were 4 finalists. I want to get to the finalists first. One of them was Joe Biden.
Yeah, nope. I'm nope on that one.
President-elect Joe Biden. The other one was President Donald Trump.
No, also nope. Nope on both of those.
The other one was Anthony Fauci.
Yep.
Tony Fauci.
Yep, I'm cool with that one. Yep.
And the 4th finalist was
Cardi B.
And this is in quotes.
Uh-oh.
Cardi B. The global movement for racial justice sparked by the killing of George Floyd.
That's a big one right there. But see, then I think you're breaking your parameters. That's not an actual.
These are my parameters.
Well, right. I'm not saying right. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying
no,
the
I know.
parameters
Like, that's
these
not
people
a
are
person.
using. That's not a person.
Because it's like the movement would be the person of the year.
Right. But I just find that ridiculous.
Yeah,
I find
I agree with you.
Then why don't you just call it what it is and call it the movement of the year? What's so difficult about that? It's your own paper. It's your own magazine.
Or why not just say George Floyd? Because of what what happened to him sparked in America,
right? But I also imagine when someone says that, then you think about, well, what about Eric Garner?
Sure.
What about Mike Brown
and all the countless people that go unnamed?
Breonna Taylor?
Yeah, sure.
So
of course.
So yeah, I
would
don't
agree
mind.
with you. I would agree with you.
I don't mind Fauci. I think Fauci has been one of the few people I think that has, at least in my opinion, still kept it fairly real. I don't think that he's trying to mislead the public. I think he is presenting the information that he knows at the time.
He's in a difficult situation also because he doesn't really have an administration that's helping him in any sort of way or making.
Hopefully, it will get better with Biden, but we'll see.
Yeah, at least we know, or at least I'd imagine Biden has a little more respect for the role of a doctor and
and the
Fauci.
process.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Anyway, Anthony Fauci did not win. The global movement for racial justice sparked by the killing of George Floyd did not win.
Okay.
Donald Trump did not win.
Oh, so it was Biden.
The winner was actually okay. The Time. This is hilarious. Let me read you.
Okay.
Time's Instagram post because this makes me laugh. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are Time's 2020 Person of the Year.
First of all, that's 2 people. That's 2 people. I didn't realize math got so difficult, but okay. 2 people, but all right, continue.
Biden had the vision, set the tone, and topped the ticket, but he also recognized what he could not offer on his own, what a 78-year-old white man could never provide: generational change, a fresh perspective, and an embodiment of America's diversity, writes Charlotte Alter.
Can I stop? Okay,
sure.
Can I?
Go
so
ahead.
I have a couple. Can you reread that last little thing though about as you take your glasses off, how Biden can't? What was it? It was about change, new perspective. What was that sentence again?
Joe Biden and But he also recognized. But he also recognized what he could not offer on his own, what a 78-year-old white man could never provide: generational change, a fresh perspective, and an embodiment of America's diversity.
Okay, I would agree with those last 2 points, but the idea of generational change, I think anybody who wields as much power in theory as a president should have, you can start generational change. Just because you're not of that generation.
I mean, his cabinet.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing. That's what they're saying, though. He
Right.
couldn't do it, so he got someone that could.
Which is good.
A
I
young
guess,
person to him is 68 years old, Chad.
Wait, is that how old Kamala Harris is?
No, I'm saying this is why he couldn't do it, because he doesn't know what it means. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I see
No.
I see what
But that's
you're
what they're
saying.
saying.
No, yeah.
They're saying he can't offer the generational change, so he brings in Kamala, who's a young
Right.
visionary that can
But then
offer
why
that.
not just give her Person of the Year?
Let me read the rest of
Okay.
it. Maybe they'll explain.
Okay.
For that, he needed Kamala Harris. Yeah, that's a good point. California, because now it's just saying it's her. California Senator, former District Attorney and State Attorney General, a biracial child of immigrants whose charisma and tough questioning of Trump's administration officials electrified millions of Democrats. The vice president has never been a woman. Oh, excuse me. The vice president has never before been a woman, or black, or Asian American. I will be the first, but I will not be the last. Harris says in a separate interview, that's about legacy. That's about creating a pathway. That's about leaving the door more open than it was when you walked in. Smooth. That's it.
Okay. But see, I still, once again, I don't get why can't you just give it to Kamala Harris then, I guess, if you're...
I agree with you.
I mean, it's
Look
two
at my
people.
notes. They're fun.
I can't...
I put way too much effort into these notes.
Oh,
I
that's
made sure
funny.
I got a picture.
That's funny.
So anyway,
That's funny.
So shout out to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for winning Person of the Year.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I find the Joe Biden one really weird. I understand that it's a big deal that he defeated Donald Trump, but I just don't see him as like the catalyst for like the big social change.
Yep,
You know?
I agree. And
Especially if you compare, for example, to like Greta Thunberg, for example. Even Trump is the catalyst for big social change. But I don't think
not always for the
I don't think
good,
it's
but-
positive at all. But it's just I don't know. But I like it, I agree with
also-
you in the sense that like it would make more sense to me if they gave it to Kamala, because they're saying that essentially what it seems like they said in that caption is that the reason Biden is the Person of the Year because he was so smart and good enough to find someone to do the good and smart stuff.
Yeah, and the other thing is too is why are these people the Person of the Year when what have they actually done so far? Is my other question. Other than win the election, which to be honest with you, I'm still very on the fence with both of them. We'll see
If
how
they
things
actually
go.
won, you don't think?
Well,
they actually,
no. I think they actually won. What I'm saying is how things will actually be when they get into office.
Yeah, I
we'll have to see.
understand. I understand.
You know, you can make a lot of grand promises and say a lot of things, but we'll just have to see what happens. And so that's why I would have, I think, found somebody who really made. I guess my question is, what is
Cardi
the
B.
what are the parameters and what contributions have they made? And when I'm saying they, I don't just mean Biden and Harris. I also mean just anyone in the running for this Person of the Year. And I still think it's hilarious that the Person of the Year is technically two people.
Yeah.
You can't just, I get it's your own publication and you can do what you want, but I feel like.
Yeah, Chad, how about you just start your own magazine
Right.
and choose your own Person of the Year?
Exactly.
And make it a lamp or something.
There we go. I do love Lamp.
Shout out to, so I have another,
Spread a little love.
I have another shout out. Shout out to PSG and Istanbul Başakşehir. I've only seen that, but I've never actually said that out loud.
We might have to play FIFA now just to play with that team and hear how it's pronounced.
Istanbul Başakşehir. Yeah. Anyway, abandoned a soccer game, football
because
match.
of racist, right?
Yes.
What happened actually?
Because of alleged racism. Let me pull up the article. Because I know what happened, but let me just get it right, you know?
I had read a couple headlines about it, but I wasn't really sure what exactly happened.
So, players of Paris Saint-Germain and Istanbul Başakşehir. geez.
Is it Besiktas?
No. Besiktas, isn't that in like Greece
That's a
or
different
something?
one. I think that's a Turkish team. Anyways,
Anyway,
doesn't
no,
matter.
it's definitely Basakasahir.
Okay.
Well, it's probably not said like that, but it's definitely not what you just said.
Either way, sounds
Walked
like
off
a
the
cool
pitch
name.
during the first half of their Champions League game after a match. Official allegedly made a racist remark about a member of the Turkish club's coaching staff.
Uh-oh.
The Romanian fourth official, Sebastian Coltescu, was identifying Basakasahir Istanbul's Basakasahir assistant Pierre Weibo, the former Cameroonian striker, to the referee when the alleged comment was made.
Uh-oh.
Coltescu, the ref, was speaking Romanian with TV footage showing him saying, "The black one over there, go and check who he is, the black one over there. It's not possible to act like that." This is what Weibo said to him.
Mm-hmm.
After Weibo had vehemently protested against a refereeing decision. Excuse me. No, that's what the referee said after after Weibo had vehemently protested a refereeing decision. Then Weibo reacted angrily, shouting at Coltescu, "Why did you say Negro?" The game stopped as an argument broke out on the touchline at the Parc des Princes. Basakahir substitute forward Demba Ba was heard saying to Coltescu, "You never say this white guy. You say this guy. So why would you mention
His
a
race?
black guy?" This is kind of chopped up because it's
Right.
they're like sort of giving the so there's like random ellipsis and parenthesis. So why would you mention that it's a black guy? Why do you have to mention specifically that it's a black guy? Essentially,
Right.
TV footage also showed PSG defender Presnel Kimpembe saying, "Is he serious? Well, we are heading in. We're heading in. That's it. We're heading in." The Basakahir players walked away down the tunnel, and their opponents followed. Istanbul Basakahir tweeted, "Our assistant coach, Pierre Weibo, has been sent off with a racist word by the fourth official ref of the match, and the match has stopped for a while."
I wonder what happened to that referee.
Well, I will say that they did continue the game tomorrow,
Okay.
and they subbed out the ref with a different ref. So I don't know what happened to him in the long term, but I do know they continued the game with a different ref in his place.
Right.
And they came out the next game, which was just the next day. And this is Mbappe and Neymar. This is the shirts that
What
they
does
were
the shirt
wearing.
say? Oh, no to racism.
No to racism, and they have the PSG and Basaka Sahir emblems on the shirt.
Nice. I think that's good, though. Shout
Yeah.
out to those guys for
Shout out.
standing
I
up
mean,
to what's right.
That's like
walking out.
Yeah, that's real action right there.
That's
and
a
that's hard to
cojones,
do
too, for
yeah.
sure. For
And
sure.
and it's and I like that it also the teams stuck together, and it's
In
like
solidarity,
Your
yeah.
your racism is a bigger deal than us competing here on this field,
Right.
And so we're all in solidarity, and I love that it was in solidarity too, because it could have been. I think a lot more messier, like PR wise, as some people were like, "Well, I don't know if he really said anything,"
Right.
and then and so I think that's great, and that's like real change,
I will say this, and please don't.
Here we go.
Please don't consider this me defending the referee, but because I'm not. That's not good behavior. He shouldn't have said anything like that. I will say this though. I do think. And I'm not excluding America from this because we have our own very bad problems with racism. But I think in Europe, they generally lack the discussion and dialogue about how people should interact with people from different races.
Oh, yeah.
Because in Romania, I would be willing to bet, anyone from Romania listening, let me know, but I would be willing to bet there's probably not a lot of black people in Romania, which means they don't really know how to actually, what is polite and impolite to say, and I'm not giving this guy a pass by any means, but my whole point here is that, and if you're, and I'm not saying it's right at all, but I'm saying he might have just been so damn ignorant that he said that shit.
I
I
agree with you, but this is probably not his first match
Probably
as a
not.
referee, And this guy is a referee for professionals, which is
Right.
filled with people from all over the place. So I don't know if I
Yeah,
can
that's
give,
not a good excuse.
I don't know
right.
if I can give a referee that this is the Champions League.
Right.
They're specifically coming from all over the place.
Right.
I don't know if I can give someone that much leeway that's job is surrounded by essentially black people. You know, like
Right.
he's surrounded by black people all the time as a professional referee,
Right.
as in soccer. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hear you.
I'm not trying to
It's probably
give him-
true.
right.
That's probably true, but it just
Right.
seems too like it's just like yeah, but come on,
Yeah.
you don't know how to like you don't realize the difference between just saying oh that guy and then the black guy specifically. I don't know, but yeah. Shout out to the players though, the solidarity. I like that.
exactly.
It's cool to see.
Yeah, it's good to see.
And sometimes I feel like that's something you almost could never see in like the NFL or something like that. Maybe basketball.
you. I think the NFL you would only see it. I think
see
you
select people.
Yeah,
but you would never
exactly.
see like a full solidarity. Of
I
a
would.
walkout like
I would
that.
even argue most of the players would probably walk out. It would be the higher ups in the NFL.
I don't think most of the players would.
You don't think so?
I mean,
think a
when
lot
we
of
see
them would.
we see during when the kneeling was big, it was most teams. It was not the majority of the people on that team even kneeling.
Oh, really? I didn't. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Okay,
Fair
I
enough.
don't know about that.
Fair enough. Well, Jared, do you think it's time that we
Yeah, dude.
get into the bread and butter, those good old untranslatables? Today untranslatables are idioms, proverbs, axioms, phrases, sayings that don't translate on a one-to-one basis into English.
Yeah.
And we are your certified, tried and true untranslatable experts. And I'm going to get us started off today, Jared, with a Thai untranslatable. And it is Gam ki di kwa gam tod, which means handful of shit is better than a handful of fart.
I've done this one before, and I know what it means. Actually, it means that it's like oh shoot,
What does it mean, Jared?
I've definitely done this one before. 'cause I remember-
testing your long-term memory right here.
Yeah, it's like that. It's like the better result of two. It's like it's better than nothing.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah,
Because I
better than
remember,
nothing.
I remember us having a conversation about
A little something is better than nothing.
where I'm like,
basically.
how is that better? I don't understand where the
Right.
better part comes
Right.
in from this untranslatable.
Exactly.
It all sounds bad. I feel like I'd rather have a fart
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
because then it's
probably.
nothing.
Right.
Or at least because I guess I'm imagining my hand under someone else's butt though.
Yeah, who knows? Either way, yeah.
My
little is bigger than nothing.
first untranslatable is Indonesian, so I guess Bahasa is we're saying that's the
I
language.
think,
Is
yeah.
Indonesian not a language?
Well, let me Google it for you, Jared.
At least the website I got these from, it just said Indonesian, you know? But maybe
Right.
it's just we'll figure it out. Indonesian language. It is a language. It says official language of Indonesia is Indonesian.
They might just call it Bahasa, maybe.
So you're saying
Indonesian-
that Bahasa is another
Indonesian,
word for Indonesian.
Bahasa Indonesia is the official language of
Okay.
Indonesia.
Okay.
It is a standard variety of Malay, an Austronesian language that has been used as a lingua franca in the multilingual Indonesian archipelago for centuries.
So I imagine there's a lot of countries in that area that just have a like their own variation of Malay, essentially.
Yeah, and I know Bali is very different. What the way they speak in Bali is different than your standard Bahasa as well.
Right, but it's all based off Malay, or these languages are based off of Malay.
I don't
At
know
least
if
that's
all
what
of
that
them
just-
are.
or
Well,
those.
that's yeah. Well, it says it's that's kind of seems like that's the standard language that all of them use and learn.
Sure, it's kind of like Arabic, maybe Malay.
Could be maybe or Spanish. I would view it
Okay.
more as Spanish where it has the different dialects.
Okay.
Maybe, but anyways, neither of us are Indonesian language experts. If you know more,
So,
let us know. But
I
yeah.
have two phrases. They're essentially, I guess, completely different, but they mean
Okay.
the same thing.
Okay, let's hear them. I'm excited.
So one of the phrases is anak buah, anak buah,
Okay,
and that means fruit children.
okay.
Do you have any guesses on what that could be? Let's see if you can just get it with half of it first, and then I'll work in another one
Fruit children.
if you start going off of the, off.
I don't even know where to begin with this one.
All right, the second one is kaki tangan, which is hands and feet. which I don't think makes it any easier. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So,
give me a clue.
Hands and feet. Okay, so we have a body.
Fruit children, hands and feet are the two. Right?
But the body. Okay. Okay.
It's not to be overweight, is it?
No. It's a person, but so it's a noun.
A young person?
No, it's not a kind of. It's like a. No, it's not like a young old male female kind of thing.
Okay,
it's like a in order for like a family to be in order to be successful, you need fruit children or
money.
Or the only way your body, like you have your body, and your body, such as your brain and your heart, is the main thing that keeps your body going. But you need to rely on your hands and feet in order to get for your body to really succeed. I need my hands and feet.
Exercise?
No, but this is a person that I said. This is a person.
I have no idea what
an
is
employee or an assistant.
Oh, really? That's it?
Yeah.
Interesting. So fruit children or hands and the hands and feet make a lot of sense now for an employee. Yeah, because they do a lot of the hands-on.
Yeah, it's like I'm the heart and soul of this thing, but I need you to keep me moving.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, I like that.
I understand, though. Like, in my head, I'm like, oh, come on, my examples are so good. But I understand why it would be hard and why your mind wouldn't even go to employee from there.
Right. Yeah, that can be definitely a tricky one. All right, my next one for you is Thai, and it is kom na kom ta, which means bow down one's head and eyes. Just visualize that
Respect
one. I think it'll help you. Not quite. I could see you having to do this if you're trying to find gifts for somebody, maybe.
Bow down. You really search long and hard.
And what would we call that?
Really searching long and hard. What would we call that?
Starts with a C.
Cramming.
No.
Okay.
You're thinking long and hard about something. You're searching.
I
mean, think about it. What would you be doing if you bow down your head and your eyes? So
yeah, but that starts with a C. Conspiring.
No. No, not conspiring. Think about here. Try it, Jared. Bow your head down. Close your eyes.
Yeah. Praying. I'm praying.
What kind of situation might you do this?
Charm.
No.
What situation might I do this?
Yeah.
I think praying.
It's related to thinking. Okay, to pray, what do you need to do?
Concentrate.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so this just simply means to concentrate.
I got
Bow
you.
down one's head and eyes. Which I think for some people for gift giving, they have to really concentrate.
I think that's part of the reason why they tell you to do that with prayer. You know, it's like so you only focus on Jesus.
Right. Or Allah or whoever. Watch out.
Sure. I'm just going off of what my family was telling me.
Right.
My next untranslatable is Romanian, and it's Adat Kumuchi Fasole.
Which means?
Throw his boogers in the beans.
Oh, geez.
Threw his boogers in the beans.
Threw his boogers in the beans. In the beans or beads?
Beans.
Okay.
Beans. Boning.
There we go. The frijoles. Right, isn't that beans in Spanish, I think?
Frijoles? No.
Mexican Spanish?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Anyways, so boogers, threw boogers in the beans. Is that like to add something that's unnecessary?
No, it's a lot simpler than that.
Okay.
If
It's like to add all your extra spices.
If I was cooking up a stew and you threw your boogers into the beans, what would you have just done to that stew?
Ruined it.
There you go.
To ruin a meal.
Up.
Oh, to screw. I like that. To screw something up. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I got one last one for you, and it is also Thai, and it is linjor ake, and it means a tongue like a crocodile. I think this one, don't think too much about it.
Is it? I imagine a crocodile. Here, I already am thinking too much about it. A crocodile probably doesn't really do much tasting.
Okay.
So I imagine it means
I
that
think
you're like very good with spicy foods.
It has nothing to do with spicy. Well, kind of.
Or
it's not specifically
or
about
you're
spicy
just very
foods.
unpicky.
Also not about unpicky. Think about a
Unpicky.
crocodile. How do they eat something?
Oh,
They
you
eat it
like
very
Oh,
slowly.
I see. You eat like a pig, essentially.
Yeah. You just or the untranslatable that they had related to this was to wolf something down.
Okay.
To like just
That makes sense.
scarf it down,
Yeah.
eat it really quickly.
Yeah.
And Jared, if you get someone a really, really good present, they might have a tongue
Scarf
like a
it down.
crocodile and scarf
Yeah.
it down.
That's true.
I'm sure you've gotten a couple maybe tasty treats from somebody over the years for holidays.
Well, whenever I go to Louisiana, I get one of my favorite. I guess you call it like a dessert, a delicacy, a specialty,
Okay.
a treat is pecan candy,
Oh,
or I guess they
okay.
call it their pralines. I don't really know how they say it. How to say pralines, because everyone I know just says pecan candy.
Oh,
but is
interesting.
it?
Okay.
Do you know what a praline is? Okay. There a lot of them in like a lot of people make it in Louisiana, and you can usually either find there's a good place that we like to get it. I like to get it. That's a great gift actually that I get other people too, because like especially people that are like my piano teacher or something, like I'd probably get her some of those. It's like, something from where I'm from kind of thing. That's kind of what it's a great example of. And it's delicious and it's addicting. It's essentially just caramel wrapped in
good old pecan.
Yeah, pecans.
That's
So
a solid
that's a
gift.
treat that I like to get my
Okay.
hands on when I can.
What are your thoughts on candy canes?
I don't want it as a gift, but I don't have a problem with it. I like peppermint.
Even what about though, like especially if we're thinking about Christmas time, like I think it's an okay gift. For example, like if you gave a coworker or a family member or a friend like something and had some candy
Sure.
canes in it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
But see, that's the thing. I think a lot of people think of gifts as sometimes like a big singular thing.
Yeah, I think maybe
which is,
I do too.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think sometimes it's those little gifts that can sometimes make a holiday or an event or an occasion really special.
I
you
think
know?
I think that's my problem as far as I think I have some gift giving anxiety. But I
Why
think
might that be, Jared?
I think it's because I always overthink it.
And why do you overthink it? Do you not want to disappoint the gift receiver, the recipient?
I don't want to disappoint them. I don't want them to think that I don't pay attention.
So what's your thought
Or-
process when you want to give someone a gift?
First of all, I think about the hobbies. That's the
Okay,
first step.
yeah,
What
good,
are they into?
okay.
So something that I've actually trying to break out of a little bit is that like my dad is he loves to cook, and so that's always kind of been like I know I could go to, but it's like I feel like I've given him
Lots of
every
cooking stuff.
cooking accoutrement you can give someone at this point. So now I'm struggling to be like, all right, now what other hobbies are out there that I could exploit? So I definitely say hobbies. You definitely, which I'm also not great at. You have to like be a good listener, especially with like a partner.
I'd say you're a better listener than you give yourself credit for.
All right, whatever. You have to be a good listener, like with your partner, and because especially with someone that you are around all the time, it's kind of hard. Like in that you've been with for a while, it's kind of hard to like keep thinking of like new and exciting gifts that aren't just kind of like that isn't just kind of like stuff, and just like. And I also I'm very against just like not very against, but I'm not into just giving like new AirPods or like a just like some sort of like tech gift. Like it seems even if it's sometimes it seems kind of like a soulless a little bit.
Why?
I don't know. But that's actually a good question because I like getting some of those gifts from other people.
Well, I would say it's only soulless if they
don't actually want it and you just think
Exactly.
of some expensive toy.
Exactly. Right. I would. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
what's
like, why would you think you've never seen me listen to music or podcast?
Right.
Why would you think I want $200 headphones?
Exactly. Well, and that brings up an interesting cultural aspect of gift giving, Jared. And I read online that actually in Russian culture, you don't actually want to sometimes give overly expensive gifts because it can be seen as you're trying to butter someone up or bribe them. So that's also an interesting thing to take into consideration. Whereas I think for us as Americans, sometimes that really shiny object can be a great gift idea for some people.
But I think there definitely, depending on the situation, can be some of that like this is too much in the U.S. too.
Right.
It's like what are you trying to say here?
Well, and I think it's interesting when companies and businesses will give their employees gifts for the holidays. Like I remember maybe 5-6 years ago, my mom got like a little red iPod shuffle from her work. And it was kind of like, was kind of like, well, once again, like she didn't ask for it. Like she listens to music and she likes music, but it was just kind of like this weird,
Sure.
you know. So yeah, I agree with you. Actually,
But
that's a
it's
good point.
impossible to get everyone exactly what they would want. But
Well,
then
sure,
like
of course,
a
especially
$100
big
to $200
corporation.
price range.
Right.
Yeah.
But once again, I think the money aspect is an interesting thing to think about
Yes.
because I would rather have a gift that someone really thought about that is more practical or even sentimental for me than like just like, oh, here's an iPad or here, you know what I mean?
feel like I only feel comfortable really getting expensive gifts from my parents. For some reason, from them, I'm like, sure, yeah, spend all the money you
Right.
want.
Yeah.
This is your job.
Well,
and
it's
duty.
different, right? Well, it's different when they're your parents, I guess.
But for some reason, like, but other than that, I don't know. It feels a little weird. Like.
Well, I think it
Like
feels
too
weird.
much.
Well, it feels weird because you're not reciprocating at that
Yes,
level
that's the
financially.
worst part.
Which I think is
That's
important.
also the biggest, I think, stressor. It was like
Right.
I don't want to I don't want my gift to look thoughtless or something
Right.
like that in comparison to like a
Right.
Chad caliber gift.
Right. Well, but see, the gifts that I try to give are, as I said, I really try to think of practicality. For example, I remember Allie, my ex from a few years back. I remember one day we were talking and she was working on one of her papers for grad school, and she kept complaining. This is kind of a silly example, but she kept complaining about how hot her laptop would always get. And so your boy bought her
One of those little fan
Yeah, one of the
things.
fan things for a laptop. And she used it for quite a while, and it seemed like it was pretty practical. I probably spent $25-$30, and that was kind of the quote-unquote big gift that I got her. Now, granted, I was in grad school. I wasn't making very much money. She was at, one of her kind of first jobs outside of graduating from undergrad, so she wasn't making a ton of money either. We both have student loans, so...
Sure.
But I think the finance thing definitely does add a layer of stress, and I think
Yes.
that's why it's really important to be honest with yourself about financial boundaries. Be honest with the people that if you do decide you're planning on giving gifts, like for example, I do not expect any gifts from any of my family members, to be honest with you. I'm a grown man. If they want to give me something, like that's nice of them and I really appreciate it. But it's not like I write my sisters nowadays and tell them, oh, I want this, this, and this for Christmas.
Yeah.
If they reached out, I'd be happy to give them an idea here or there. But, at the same time, it's like, I don't...
You're not making a Christmas list? You're not sharing your Amazon wish list?
And it's not like I really need anything. I don't mean to sound,
That's how I feel that way too.
Right. And the thing is, like, someone giving me a gift, that's why I said I would rather have something practical or something that is, like, sentimental. Like, I know this is going to sound cheesy, and maybe I'll even get clowned from somebody by this, Jared, but, like, I would love, like, a calendar with, like, pictures of my nephews and like my family. Like to me, like that's maybe what, $20 probably, and obviously you got to spend some time finding the right pictures and all that
I see you
jazz.
actually keep this calendar up to like flipped. Oh, actually, no, you don't. It's December.
Right.
Never mind.
Right. Well, and I think that one is more just, I think, for the I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't even really touch any of these
You don't.
calendars,
You
to be
don't.
honest
Oh
with
yeah,
you.
they're all on November.
So I guess I gotta flip them. Thanks for the reminder, Jared.
It's December now.
But my whole point is like something that has a different value than just like
Sure.
stuff, as you mentioned.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Something I try to think of like I want them to know that I know what their hobby is. You have an
Or just
expensive
what they
hobby,
like.
Though, so
Well, not really.
here's a 1974 Fender Stratocaster played by Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Right. That's only going to be, 1.5 mil or whatever. I would actually disagree with you. I would say that actually if you have someone who has music as a hobby, there's a lot of stuff you can get them, actually.
There's a bunch of stuff.
And to be honest with you, some of the best gifts I've gotten from family, and this is going to make me sound like an uber nerd, have been books. I've gotten some fantastic books from family.
That's not nerdy.
And actually, I'm going to be giving my nephews and my niece books for Christmas this year. I'm going to give them a few other smaller things too, but I'm going to give them books.
Who every year? Who are you buying gifts for?
Well, a lot of times, honestly, I go in with my parents on a lot of the stuff for my nephews and my niece. We'll kind of talk about, do they want this? Do they want that?
So you're rarely these days getting them like something just from you.
Well, it depends. It depends. A lot of times, we'll discuss what my parents are going to get and what I'm going to get.
I see.
That's what I mean more. We'll do that. Whereas, to be honest with you, I was really hoping to with my nephews, I had loaned both of them acoustic guitars, and I was hoping they would like
stick.
it, and then I was going to just, give them those guitars. Didn't stick
It's a
those.
strong effort, though.
Well, some of that's my fault. I gave it to them before I left for China. I was in China, so it's not like I could have taught them.
Sure.
And unfortunately, now I haven't been. But anyway, so that was one idea I had. I am actually, my niece might actually be listening to this. So if she does, then
You don't have to tell me what.
I'll tell you
you're
off
getting
air.
them. I'm just
I'll tell
saying,
you off air.
who do you get gifts for
Right.
in a given year?
So niece and nephew, parents, occasionally, I think I don't know if actually the last couple of years since I've been abroad, sadly, I haven't gotten gifts from my sisters. I probably should have.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a terrible brother for that. But yeah, so friends, a couple friends of mine, when I was dating, girls I was dating, they for sure got Christmas gifts. Other than that, though, not really anybody, to be honest. What about you?
For me, it's primarily, my girlfriend or partner, and then I would say my parents, but that's only, and this, I guess it might be bad, I don't know, but that's only if I go home. Sometimes, no, I guess that's not true. Sometimes because I did send my mom a birthday present in July, I believe this year, just like something I found online. So I'm probably the parents at least once a year, sure. But maybe not for both Christmas and birthday, depending on when I go home and stuff like that. Probably my sister for Christmas, and maybe a friend here and there if I'm around them.
Yeah, I have a couple friends I might get some small things for.
Yeah, but I'll only do that if I know I'll be around them at the time.
Right. Like this year, I got you something kind of small.
Yeah,
it's kind of a funny, more a jokey gift, really. Okay. And the whole point of that is more because I thought it was funny personally.
Well, I think it's something too, just for podcast reasons, and we'll exchange them in this sufficient and yarn time.
Okay. Well, okay.
Is that what?
I'll talk to you about it a little bit off air.
It's a gift, though.
It is a gift.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But yeah, so the reason, though, obviously one of the reasons why we wanted to do today's episode is because we are on the brink of Christmas, which is a big gift-giving time. Mm-hmm. But I think just the idea of giving gifts can be such a fulfilling thing as well. And so I'd also like to talk about some other instances where you can kind of give gifts and what type of gifts are okay. And in different cultures, that changes a lot, too. I will say that I think in the U.S., we are not actually a culture where, I don't think our generation especially, it's not a custom that's super normal in the U.S. where you bring it's expected to bring a gift.
Yeah.
If you invite me over, for example, right, I might bring something because, you and I are buddies and, maybe a couple beers or something like that, right? But I wouldn't consider that really a gift. Right. But I think there are
partaking in it too.
Right, but I think there are other cultures where you can bring a bottle of wine,
and you can't expect them to open it while you're there.
But they might, and it is still considered like a gift or like something. So,
but now at that point, it's them being like, "Hey, would you like to drink my bottle of wine?" Not like we're sharing the wine that you brought for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely. I feel like a lot in when I was in Europe. There was that culture of just bring something over like that. Especially, where I probably got that from was when the traveling soccer team, I was on where we traveled to different cities in Europe and played against other international schools in the area. And it would be customary to bring a gift for your host family, which is one of your opponents.
And that's another time when I think people should be bringing gifts a lot of times. If someone does welcome you into their own home,
for free.
Especially, for free, and if it's the first time, well, and I think even after the first time, if you build a relationship with somebody, then you're actually probably going to be even more willing to give a gift.
Sure.
And you'll probably give a much better gift because you know the people.
Yeah.
I know one of my favorite things was going back to Germany that second summer because I had some friends, and so I was able to bring them a couple little things. One of my buddies, I knew he liked ranch dressing. I know it's kind of a goofy, ridiculous American thing, but you can't find that in Europe really. Or if you do, it's really expensive, and a lot of times it doesn't even taste good. So, so that's a really good point though, Jared. Is if you visit a host family, if it's whether you're in high school or younger for a sporting event or you're studying abroad or whatever. whatever.
Have you ever done that? Stayed with a host family before?
Oh, yeah. I stayed with a host family in Germany both times during 2015 and 2016 when I went with MSU for a study abroad program. That was fantastic. And then otherwise...
Did you bring them a Michigan-centric gift or something?
I did. I brought... And actually, once again, I was trying to think of practicality, and someone told me that my host mom really enjoyed cooking, so I brought her a Michigan cutting board, shape of Michigan. And what a lot of people bring are mugs. Because they're smaller, and I mean, yes, they are breakable, so you have to pack them carefully, but mugs tend to be a quote-unquote good gift. I think mugs are probably overgiven, I would argue. I would say if you're looking for a good gift...
I like mugs, but I agree with... I don't have a... Yeah, I agree with you. They're a common gift. Well, but I like a mug.
And also, as a teacher, I can tell you that I know a lot of teachers that have billions of mugs. And so I think, depending on who you're giving a gift to, also think about what kind of gifts they might have received a lot in the past. And it's the same with host families. If you go stay with someone who's housed, 20, 30 people, try not to... I think the beauty of gift giving, too, is not always giving someone what is quote-unquote expected or kind of the same thing. You know? Sometimes it can be nice to try to give them something a little bit more unique, for example.
It's the thought that counts.
Right. To some degree.
It's windy outside.
It is.
There's obvious ones like birthday and Christmas.
Yep.
Those are the obvious ones. There's also... Have you ever gotten Easter gifts?
Yeah, I get Easter gifts from my parents.
Yeah. That one doesn't make any sense to me. Why is Easter a gift-giving holiday? I never.
Well, why is Christmas a gift-giving holiday? I think, they're both.
Because it's a birthday. Christmas is essentially we're celebrating.
Well, so
a
is
birthday.
Easter, isn't it? Or no, Easter is the death of Jesus Christ, right? Or Easter is the
I
resurrection.
Guess it's a birthday. Yeah.
It's a resurrection. That's technically another birthday for you.
Fair enough.
So I guess that's why. Valentine's Day for all of our Americans out there and many people in the West.
Now, Valentine's Day is an interesting one because it is a very common gift-giving holiday now, but it's essentially fully been made up by the corporations. Yeah.
Well, and can I also say this, Jared? And I don't think it's a controversial opinion, but who knows? So I'm sorry if I get our podcast canceled here. But I do think that Valentine's Day, generally speaking,
is BS.
Well, yes, and I think men tend to be the ones that shell out a lot more money on Valentine's Day than the other way around. Would be my argument.
I mean, that is how the marketing seems to go.
Right.
Where it's like, give
jewelry,
her the Valentine's Day of her dreams,
Right. Jewelry, restaurants,
an experience she'll never forget. It's always like, give her this sort of experience.
Right. What are the benefits of Valentine's Day for dudes? Because I'll be
about that.
Because I know it's not, but I'm just trying to think of I'm trying to think of when kind of Valentine's Day gifts I've gotten in the past.
I enjoy Valentine's Day because
really
because I have a partner and we both have agreed that our Valentine's Day is not going to involve going out to some sort of
romantic restaurant
and paying the Valentine's special surcharge or whatever. But we do actually take that time to usually make a special meal together at home.
That's more genuine. That's good.
Sure.
That's a lot more genuine. That's whereas I think
also it's not really a big gift giving holiday for me, I guess either.
Right. I think that's a good thing.
Giving gifts on Easter.
Right. Or weren't we talking about Valentine's Day?
Sorry, I had Easter written down. Another one that I remember and wish. And I think I didn't do well because I lived in Germany. I missed out a little bit on this. Is the graduation?
Oh yeah,
the graduation is the ultimate moneymaker for any young teenager.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're talking about high school graduation.
High school graduation,
exactly. Which I find funny because I think actually, practically speaking,
probably college is a little
college
more
would make a little bit more sense to at least you could get a cushion of $1,000.
Yeah,
or
but I think the thought behind the college graduation is you're using that to buy books and stuff.
Right.
Well, at least that's what my parents convinced me of.
Okay. Well, I mean, I used it to buy a laptop, if I remember.
Yeah, school. Yeah. It's for school supplies and stuff.
Right.
And because that's definitely what I used a good bit of mine for too. But that was I think I could have gotten more money if I hadn't lived in Germany for part of my high school career, and I had my full sort of career of going from middle school to high school and having a big sort of a
social circle and all that
around school. Yeah,
right.
So I'm not complaining, But I know people that made out with like thousands of dollars.
Yeah, some people do.
I made out with probably maybe like a low thousands. You know, like.
I will tell you this, as a high school student, being 18 years old, and having had a couple, long wanted dream guitars, it was very difficult not to spend that. I think I got about $1,400 or $1,500.
I can imagine you. It
was tough.
I can imagine you definitely like coming to school with no books or computer, but you have like these dope guitars.
Yep. Well, it probably would have just been one, but yeah, graduation's a big one.
Anniversary.
Yeah, but yeah. All right, I'm just gonna shut up now. It's all negative.
What's that, Chad?
It's all just very negative.
It seems like I wonder. Would some people can think that anniversaries might be skewed towards the man giving the woman something?
I would. Yeah, that's the camp I'm in. So that's why, I don't know, man. Chad. I mean, the thing with anniversaries, I guess.
I think that's marketing. I think companies know who tend to probably like how to like who's more likely to spend money on gifts, and it's just marketing, you know.
Well, I think the other issue,
and I think that drives the expectation.
Right. And see that I'm so glad you said that, because the thing I really love about gift giving to some degree is when there isn't quite that expectation. Like, yes, I get it for Christmas, there is a bit of that expectation, but the gift giving I really enjoy is when you give someone a gift just because you want to give them a gift. Either you're friends with them or you are starting a friendship, for example. And I'm not saying you need to give people material possessions to become friends or anything like that, but I'm saying, like, when I went to the Czech Republic, my mentor, I gave her some like things from Michigan. If I remember correctly, I think it was something also. We were recommended to bring something like, if you do have a female mentor in the Czech Republic, to bring, something more cooking related. That is what we were advised, and I had asked, other people, I'm going to the Czech Republic. What are some good gift ideas?
Remember, I was the conduit for gift giving in Prague.
Yep.
You need to oil that thing up.
I guess
every time
you've
done that, I'm like, is my phone vibrating?
Right.
I was the conduit for gift giving between my piano teacher and Joanna Jenkins.
That was so great, dude. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But see, once again, like, those are the type of gifts I really like and enjoy.
Yeah.
Like when you give your
and that was super
organic,
organic, because I literally was just sitting at piano lessons like, I'm going to go visit my friend in Prague. She's like, I know someone in Prague.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll take this cumbersome gift with me. Sure. But yeah, no, I mean, that I understand what you're saying, but I do think there is something to sometimes people do need a push to actually remind someone that they care about them. So I think there is some use to there being holidays for some people, because it's like some people aren't good at expressing their feelings,
right?
And when you have sort of these almost forced occasions, it almost forces someone that would never really express themselves properly to do it.
Yeah, but I think some people also have a lot of difficulty expressing themselves through gifts as well. I mean, you said you struggle with gift giving, and so, but you are right that I do think gift giving is an extension of that.
Yeah,
being able to express yourself
but that's why I think I struggle so hard with it, because it's like I'm saying a lot here. It's not just like, here's something. It's like, this needs to be right. It needs to be right somehow.
Can I give you some unsolicited advice on that?
Sure.
And for you and I guess all of our listeners. I think the key with giving anybody a gift that's a good gift is, in a way, think about, I mean, obviously it goes without saying, what would they like? But also just think about yourself as the recipient of it as well.
What would I like?
Well, and I think of as well, like, if I see something and it makes me think of a person, like, that's why I got you the gift I got you.
Right.
Is because I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I think that's hilarious. I also think Jared is going to think this is funny. So I think if you see something where, like, I just know, like you mentioned when we talked about gift giving earlier this episode, how, I have an expensive hobby, which is very true. I mean, guitars are not cheap, But if you think about all the other
Sure,
smaller
there are
things related
accessories
to it,
around
yeah,
them.
like a strap would cost
Yeah.
you $10-15. I mean, picks are always an option for most guitar players. You know?
Yeah.
So there, but just if you come across something, either back in the day when we actually would go out in public and go shopping, you'd see something and you'd
sure.
go, oh, like I could see Jared either liking that in his apartment or his house, or I could see him like, I've gotten you, I think a couple I got you that really loud T-shirt in Bali, remember the
Yes.
Hawaiian shirt kind of, right?
Which
'Cause
which during the summer I would wear around the house. It was a very nice light
it
shirt.
works perfectly. But see, once again, I got that for you because I thought it was kind of funny. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie to you. I prefer, and this comes back down to, we've talked about this on the pod too, I like finding good deals. So I'll be honest with you. A lot of the gifts I've gotten for you and for other people, I try to keep it under $20-30 because I don't think it's necessarily like, yes, you don't want to get someone complete crap, sure, that just falls apart. But at the same time, the whole point of a gift, like, when I got you that shirt, it's kind of ridiculous looking, but they are comfy.
Yeah.
And they are, so there is a practical use for it.
Sure.
So my tip for you would
It's
be
not just going to sit in the back of my closet
exactly,
forever.
exactly. So my tip for you would be, what about this gift makes you think about that person? Right. So is it positive? Is it good? Is it funny? Will they get some level of enjoyment out of it?
Sure.
Right. So that's the first step, I would say. The second step for me a lot of times is it practical? Can they use it? Because if you're just giving them something that like doesn't add anything to their life, even a small little trinket, like even, this may sound silly, but even like a fridge magnet, it might sound minuscule and stupid, but it does say, I'm thinking of you. And so, for example, every time you walk past that fridge, you see that, little thing somebody got you from who knows where, it makes you think of them and your friendship and everything else.
One thing I always try to make a point to do, this is a gift that I like to give, is my partner has some like organizations that she cares a lot about, and
Donating to charity?
yeah, in their name is
That's
always
a good
nice.
one.
And like especially when they have like I'm trying to reach this goal by this time, I like to do that too.
Yeah, that is a good one. That's a great
show the
yeah.
support.
Yeah. Well, see, once again, you're thinking. The key, once again, is just thinking. It's that simple, Jared.
I couldn't also. I feel like I couldn't just give that as the gift, And maybe I could.
You definitely could.
I could also be just projecting. I don't want to put that on my partner and say that she would like see just that and be like, "Oh, that's it." That's my feeling, is that like I can't just give that.
Right. But you'd be surprised, maybe, especially if it's a cause that someone really cares about. You'd be surprised. I think on the one extreme, I do get when people say, the old saying that it's the thought that counts. I do think there are some people that will definitely roll their eyes when you say that, because it is, people have been saying it for a long, long time. It
Sure.
doesn't bring anything new to the table, but I do think there is a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, I do too.
Really, like
And you can tell when a gift's been put a lot of thought into, no matter how much it cost.
right.
Do you want to or can I remember some of my gift highlights in my day.
Let's hear them.
I got a new Xbox.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
When it first came out for Christmas.
What year was that, do you think?
Ooh, 2004.
Okay. So 16 years ago?
I'm gonna say 2004.
Okay.
That's gonna be my guess. I remember when I got my.
So that was when we were in high school then, right? Before. That was middle
grade.
school.
That's like sixth
Oh,
grade.
okay, yeah.
Because
Okay.
I remember, I think it was right before I went to Germany.
Okay.
So maybe it was 2003, but like Xbox first.
Release date?
First gen release date. The first gen release date was 2001.
2001, even further along.
Wow. So
19 years ago.
In
That's
2001
crazy.
in North America and 2002 in Japan. So
Okay.
yeah, I guess I got it then. Maybe it was 2002 or 2003 I got it. But anyway, I remember getting the Xbox.
Okay.
That was
That's a good
and that was
highlight.
that was like the first sort of this is like a legit gaming
Game console?
situation
Yeah,
right here.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is not no blow on your cartridge Sega Genesis.
Whoa, watch out. That's one of my highlights. Watch out, Jared. I'm very
really?
insulted. Oh, yeah. When
That's
I
actually
was,
one of my highlights too. Well, not the Genesis, the Dreamcast is.
okay, the Genesis was for me. I was 6. I was 6. It was my first year. it's funny. I think you're young for our grade. I'm old for our grade. And so I was turning 6, if I remember correctly, in kindergarten because I was 5 when I started.
Kindergarten when I was
4, and you turned 5,
Oh,
right?
is that? I must have been.
I think so. But anyways, so I remember it was my first year in kindergarten, and I got a Sega Genesis. We hadn't moved into this house yet, so we were actually at my grandmother's place on Silver Lake, not too far from here. And I remember sitting there that winter and just playing that Sega Genesis all the time. And I was 6, and it was Sonic the Hedgehog. It was one. It was, I think, Street Fighter or one of those.
There was Street Fighter.
I had Doom. Which I didn't play a lot. I didn't really like it. Maybe I was just too young.
think you're a
it was
little
too
too young,
violent.
yeah. Because Street Fighter was like, it was violent, but it was like,
it wasn't too bad. There wasn't
it
blood
was like
and
a
scary
pretty
shit.
generic, just like karate, not karate, but like fighty game.
So so that when I was 6, Sega Genesis. Then 4 years later, when I was 10, it was the guitar, electric guitar.
A big one for me was I remember I got now I'm trying to 5th grade maybe. I got a mountain bike for my birthday.
Oh, when I was 8, I got a skateboard, so kind of similar.
And that was like my first like real bike, you know.
Nice.
Also, I also remember when I got a Razor scooter too.
Those things were all the rage back in the day.
I also remember too because
I think I still have mine in the garage.
I feel like I remember that birthday. It's probably at my parents' house. That birthday specifically, my parents. I would say they weren't completely prepared, and I remember going to Costco with my dad and getting the Razor scooter.
Oh, nice!
On my birthday, that was, and I don't know, it didn't bother me. I thought it was cool.
Right.
And then also another good one is I think the Blazer that you got me from Austria. I like that one a lot.
That was
And now in general, a lot of my probably finest clothes come from my parents. Sometimes you.
Okay. Nice.
Maybe first my parents, then second you. Like most of my personal clothes acquisitions are coming from Christmas time.
Right. Yeah.
And I've never it's always hard for me to like buy clothes for myself, not because I don't know what looks good on me or something, just because I'm super cheap. So I always get that. That's always I used to, when I was younger and when I was getting things like the mountain bike and the Xbox, I'd be like, oh cool, thanks for the clothes, okay, cool. Back to the Xbox or mountain bike.
Right. Now you're like legit thanks for the clothes.
Yeah. Ooh, I also got an electric scooter one year.
Oh, that would be cool.
That was cool. That was really cool. I
will say this though. I think for someone, anyone listening who is thinking about a gift for, like a very close friend, family member, or spouse, or partner, or whatever, I think when you hit a certain age and you've been friends with someone for a certain period of time, and if you're making a decent living, then I think it's not a terrible idea to try to think of what are some experiences we can do together.
Yes,
that isn't too expensive. But like, for example, I know one of my dad's best friends, Dave. He's a super cool guy. I love Dave. He actually, when him and his ex-wife, when they had I think it was either for Dave's 50th birthday or something, they actually paid for my parents their flight and their stay at a resort in like Cabo or somewhere. And so I think, if you are doing okay financially, and if you have some close friends or close family members, and you can afford something like a cruise or a trip.
I've done that with my partner before, where we've both agreed to forego getting like some sort of expensive gift, and we put that towards like a vacation or something.
Yeah, way smarter idea. I think the older I get, the less stuff I really want. And let's be honest, if it's something I want really bad, I'll just pay for it myself. I mean, I hate to sound. I hope that doesn't make me come off as a jerk, but I mean that's just how it is. At this point, like I remember, I forget I had gotten something, and I remember my parents like being like, well, whoa, slow down, Christmas is coming up, like. But I think what I got was my 7-string guitar, and it's like, I just feel bad. It's like, it's something I want, and I don't want to make someone else pay more money, whereas if it were to be like, if they had already bought a trip or something like that, that's different than someone asking me, hey, what do you want? And me being like, here's something over $100, for example.
Another gift I remember was my iPod Nano.
Oh, that was a good
The
one.
first one.
Okay.
So I I've had a few iPods in my day, but the first iPod I had, like the first iPod I had, was sort of the most revolutionary to me. I was like, this is crazy. It was the 2 gigabyte black iPod Nano with like the iPod. I keep almost saying pad because no one says iPod anymore.
Right.
The iPod Nano with like the silver back, like that original one.
Oh, those were
And,
sharp.
it had
back
2
then.
gigabytes, which was the upgrade from, I think,
Right.
the 1 gigabyte one. And I was like, oh, your boy's out here with the white headphones in.
Balling.
And I was like, that's right. That's right. I thought that was cool. I got that, I think, maybe like the first year I was in Germany or something.
Right. I will say, though, I do think, as someone who really likes music, I do think, like, headphones can be a decent gift idea. Because there's all sorts of different price ranges you can get, and you can use them for a whole different purposes, right? Like I have certain headphones I use when we record this podcast. I have certain ones I use when I work out that are completely different, So like I think something that, like we've talked about, is useful and practical, but that's also the beauty of like having
I'm so scared my car's going to get crushed
experiences. I think your car will be, well, now if I say your car will be okay, that's bad luck.
Blustery,
But yeah,
I believe
it's
is the
windy out
term.
there. But yeah, let's talk though a little bit, Jared. I also wanted to talk about different cultures as well, and what are some good or bad
Sure.
gifts. We kind of teased the episode in the beginning with my students from China talking about this.
I also want to talk about some gift-giving games.
Oh, let's start with that, and we can end with the cultural
Because
stuff.
this is all still American, at least as
Right.
far as I know.
White
At least
Elephant's one.
yes,
I'm
there's only
assuming
2
that's
that
what
I
you
can
mean.
really
Okay.
think of: White Elephant and Secret Santa.
Can you explain what both of those are?
So,
Well, I know you can, but would you mind
I'm
explaining
trying to
what
think
both
of
of
it.
those
So, White
are?
Elephant is where everyone buys a gift, and then you put it into
Like a pile,
into
I
a
think,
pot in
yeah.
the middle, and then everyone gets assigned a number, and then when your number comes up, you go and pick something from the pile.
Yep.
But then when someone's later number comes up, they have the chance to steal something rather than take something from the pile. They can steal something from someone else that has.
I think that's such a dumb rule.
a
but
better
yeah.
gift. I hate it. I hate
Yeah,
it.
that's a dumb rule.
Oh man, I hate it.
That's like that beautiful Office episode where they Michael buys Ryan the iPod, and then everyone else wants it, and they're trading and swapping everything.
We did a game like that with my coworkers, just in our little team, and so there's like 6 or 7 of us, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but there was one gift that was the one that clearly everyone wanted, and there were 3.
What was it?
I don't know if I can say because it's kind of like it was a model car.
Oh, cool.
But it was like
Okay.
a cool old school car.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But I don't remember if I didn't know the rules properly or something. But I remember I think I was the first one to go, and I feel like I was told that I could something about the first person to go can steal at the end or something like that. But
It's ridiculous.
something happened where I because I didn't know the rules, my strategy went totally wrong, and I probably could have actually gotten
backfired.
it
Okay.
if I didn't, because I picked it first is what I did. Like I was like, I was the first one to have a chance to get it, and I was like, well, I'll take it. And then obviously someone took it immediately, and that was it. And I was like, okay, well. And then
when they take it, they
I
swap
don't think
with you,
you
right?
can do a takey backy though. I think
don't
it's
think-
something like that.
Depends on the rules, I guess. But yeah, I think that defeats
least that's
the
what I thought the
purpose.
rules were.
Right. I think that defeats the whole purpose of gift giving to some extent.
What if you get angry that you don't get the cool gift?
Well, and if you're all vouching for that cool gift, like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and it's a competition. It's not a gift giving type of thing.
Maybe
anymore.
there were some other okay gifts. Like I got
Okay.
something that I was happy to get,
What'd you
but it was
get?
a little more practical. It was a Shinola like a watch. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
That'd be sweet.
That would have been way nicer than the model car. No,
Right. Don't
it
be
was
giving watches if you got a
um,
Chinese coworker though.
It was like a Shinola, like a, what do you call it? Like a composition book.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty nice. Like it wasn't leather bound, but it had like a nice sort of like harder clothy. It was nice. It was nice.
Okay.
But obviously the model car was the coolest thing there.
Sure.
And it was a pretty big size model car too. And so, but we also did the white elephants at our fraternity. Remember that? Every
But
year?
did we do I don't think we did the whole gift swapping thing, did we?
You did it. We did it where you could still you could take from someone else. That was an option. We just didn't have that great of gifts.
Did I
'cause we're
not
all a bunch of-
participate in this? I'm not remembering any of this, but I thought
I definitely remember. Remember, we sat down with ugly sweaters on.
Oh, you're right. Okay,
and we were all in the living
senior
room.
year, right?
And I think they did. You probably weren't there for every one of them, but
Right.
we did it every year. I think I was only there for one or two of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then you'd put a gift in the middle, and because we're in a frat house, it'd always be like some sort of pocket pussy or something, some
goofy gift.
some
right.
Or when I remember someone got iced, and they had chugged Smirnoff ice. Yeah. But it's still fun. But that one was actually more fun because there was no real like gift that I was really like pining
Super
over.
hoping to
I'm like,
get.
I don't want any of
Right.
this garbage. Like this is all garbage.
Yeah. Well, I really like Secret Santa because Secret Santa is fun because it is where you are usually given someone's name. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jared.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're given someone's name. And then you are the one who's supposed to get a gift for them, but then it's anonymous. So they don't know who their Santa is.
Yeah.
So
you know who you're giving a gift to, but you don't know who you're getting a gift
exactly.
from.
And so those are really fun. They can be.
And usually there's like a price limit of like 20, 25
10,
bucks.
$20.
Because it's like some office thing or like,
Right.
yeah.
Or yeah. And
Or you don't want to
exactly.
just blow someone out of the water because it would be
Right.
it is kind of shitty if you're like, oh, let's everyone show the Secret Santas.
Right.
And it's like, oh, an iPad Pro? And it's like,
Right.
hey, I thought the limit was $20.
Yeah, I think that is kind of BS. I think you should try to stay true to
'cause
that price limit.
Then is it that the gift giving just turns into like, well, look at me situation?
Yeah, it's kind of it's a popularity contest.
Look how
It's
good
a-
my gift was that I gave.
Right. Yeah. And then it's not about the essence of gift giving. Then it's about
Yes.
stroking your own
Who got
ego.
the cool, like some cool toy.
Right. And who I think then it's who gave the coolest toy.
Sure,
Let's be
yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
I think really
yeah.
that's
And then everyone just
what
gets
it's about.
jealous of the person that gets to go
Right.
home with the cool thing.
right. Whereas once again, I would rather give someone a gift that maybe doesn't have that same flash value of like, oh wow, you got an iPad Pro.
But funny's good.
Funny is good. I also like
Or, like,
something
sentimental.
that's sentimental or like really tasty, like a
Yes.
really good bottle of wine, some really good chocolate, like something that is tasty.
Will get used.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I will say too, though, I think a smart idea sometimes can be like different assortment packages of whatever, and that could be
How do
whatever.
you feel about the assorted candies?
I think that's what I mean. I think assorted candies are
I feel
okay.
like I feel like those are. I'm never enjoying those. Like
Really?
there's usually like one or two that I'm like, this was pretty good, but then I'm like, these are dumb. These are all weird, like things that I would never have any interest in.
But see,
tasting.
I also like those gifts too because if you're like, especially if we're talking more in like a workplace scenario, you can share them with a lot of
I'll
other
actually
people.
take it back.
Okay.
Well, because we did last year. I did actually get those as a present from someone.
Okay.
And everyone in our team did, and some people gave them away and stuff as re-gifted it.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. Because ours were all mine were like. They all had like different colors on the outside, and they were kind of cool, artsy looking colors and designs.
Okay.
But on the inside, it was a Forrest Gump box of chocolate situation. You never know what you're gonna get.
Right.
And so me and my my partner would play a game where you had to guess what the flavors were in it, and then
that's hilarious.
I would be looking at the list of what's in
And
there.
she'd try one and
and
have
I'd
to-
choose which one I think I'd want to either fool her or what I think is gross or
Oh,
something.
that's funny. Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, guess what's in there, and you'd have to guess the ingredients.
Right.
That was actually fun.
That would be
so
fun.
even though we most of them we didn't even enjoy eating, we did make a fun game out of
Right,
it.
right. Or like speaking of assortments, like I got a special someone last Christmas, a bunch of little different samples of like vodka and other types of liquor. So
Yeah.
you could mix and try different cocktails. I think that's like a fun gift idea, for example.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I would be happy to be on the receiving end, for example, of like different assortments of like colognes or something like that. So
You wear cologne? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not a
here
cologne
and
wearer.
there, yeah. So yeah,
That's a bold move, though. That's a tough one because I feel like it's easy to get someone's scent wrong, or
but
be
see,
like,
that's
this
why,
is not me.
But see, that's why you get an assortment of different ones where they can try.
And then they find out, so then you're just
Which one they
introducing
like.
them to a new world, and it's like now
Exactly.
maybe you have a whole new favorite.
Right. But see, that's the cool thing about gifts sometimes. Is,
Yeah.
you can get something where it's like, wow, I never would have known I like this food or this cologne or even like this style of clothing. Maybe you get a cardigan for Christmas one year and you've never worn cardigans and you're like, oh my God, these look
I'll say this:
comfortable.
my parents gave me a blazer once for Christmas, and then they gave me another one maybe 2 or 3 years later. And I'm like, I'm loving that I have a couple blazers, and I never realized I needed blazers in my life.
Blazers are a solid gift, to be honest.
Well, as you know, you
Yeah.
gave me a good one too.
Right. I'll keep it 100 with you, Jared. I mean, if I wouldn't have grown out of that, I would have kept it. I'm going to be keep it 100 with you. You're,
Of course. I mean,
that's why I like doing this podcast
blazer.
with you, is we can keep it 100. And
Yeah.
but I liked that blazer, and yeah, I would rather give it to you. Once again, I would rather give it to a good friend of mine that and you can rock the shit out of that blazer.
Yeah,
it looks good on you.
I agree.
And so so I mean, that's the other thing with a gift. You want to give someone a gift knowing that they're going to like it and it works for them. Like what works for you does not, we're lucky, I think, where, with that Austrian jacket I gave you, that looks good, I would say, on both of us, and it's just a sharp jacket in general. But I didn't, the other thing is too, is if you give someone, or wait a minute, now I'm trying to remember, or did I might have bought you a jacket when I was in Austria, actually. I don't remember. I think
I'm not offended if you grew out of it, because I've had taken a bunch of clothes from you that way. But I thought actually you bought this.
I
believe you might have actually.
I bought it with you in mind. Exactly. Yeah, because there is. There is. You're right. I've given you a couple clothes from undergrad where I was a lot skinnier.
Yes,
for sure. And some of those were some stuff I got while we were in Austria.
And now some of those, especially the button-ups, don't fit me.
Right. We've both outgrown them. But
quarantine has been rough.
Exactly. But the thing is, though, Jared, is that jacket I got you, it's coming back to me now. We were at the Naschmarkt and I saw it, and I did think, oh my God, this is a cool jacket, and I could see you being able to rock it. And so that's my whole point here for this long ass tangent, was really think about that person and that gift. Because I think some people, especially if you're younger and you haven't really given a lot of people gifts, you might give them something that you want, and think, well, I like this, I want this, maybe they'll like it. But also really think about, would they actually like it, or are you getting this so you can live vicariously through them?
Yeah, I get that. Can you think of any other gifts that you said the Genesis? Any other gifts that really stood out to you?
Skateboard, guitar.
Oh, right. You said those too.
1 year. This was a pretty cool gift, and I hate to admit that I didn't probably use this as much as I should have, but I actually got, way back in the day when I was still playing baseball, I got a pitching machine.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty sweet.
I could definitely see that being underutilized. Something that you definitely set up Christmas Day, and then you go out in the cold and use it a few times, and then once summer actually comes, it's it's a lot of work. I don't know.
Right.
I could definitely imagine that, but that seems like a cool gift.
The funny thing about the pitching machine is I actually got more use out of it as more like an outfield machine than a pitching machine, because
that's a real sad only child shit there.
Well, the thing was too, though, was that as a pitching machine, we didn't get one of the super, super duper high end ones, so it wasn't that accurate.
Sure.
So it was more. It was better suited actually to
point it in the air
up,
and pop fly it.
And I played outfield back in the day, so it was pretty useful.
Yeah.
But so that was a cool one.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, I've gotten a couple. I got a resonator guitar for Christmas, which is a metal guitar you play for more blues and slide. So that was a cool gift. It's probably in the closet, I think. But yeah, so I think the keyboard was a gift my junior or senior year during undergrad, when I needed something to work on piano skills and music theory. So once again, goes back to being practical, though.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the key at the end of the day. But let's talk about some different cultures, Jared, because what we view as practical over here might be very different, and just different cultural norms. So first, we'll start with Britain, the UK. And I guess a really suitable birthday gift, and this is kind of a fun one, is lotto tickets. I actually do kind of like that idea. I kind of like that idea. Just as a fun little, they're not that expensive.
Yeah.
You spend $2 to $5 to $10 on a buddy of yours. Happy birthday, and maybe they scratch it off, and maybe they win a couple bucks or more.
But if they win millions, then is it going to be like, oh, you owe me a couple quid there?
Maybe. I'm not going to lie, though, man. I think if you gave me a lotto ticket for my birthday, and if I would honestly, even if I won $100, I might even use that $100 and do something, buy something with that $100 that we can enjoy.
Yeah.
Exactly. I might be like, hey man, let's go do this.
Personal Ferraris if you get
exactly
a couple million.
Exactly. Right. You'd have a blue or a red one, and I'd have the other color. That's just how it would work. So, but I think lotto tickets are a fun gift idea. So if in your country it's legal to buy and give lotto tickets to other people, I would say that's a good idea and a fun gift.
I think I've gotten a lotto ticket here or there. Not often though. It's not common, certainly.
Right. Another one actually in Chinese culture, especially if it's talking more if you are an older person to a younger person in your family or your friendship circle, I think it's more so family, is during Chinese New Year you give money in the red envelopes. That's a really big one.
That's a big one in a lot of cultures.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I know money's big in well, I was gonna say Italian cultures, but that's more like Italian American. I don't know if that actually translates to the country.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, money. No one is gonna be mad at that. Although I guess there is the argument that it's the lack of thought. There's no thought in money.
But I think once again it depends on the cultural view of money. And
everyone can use it. It's definitely going to get used.
It's practical. Well, I think the other thing is in Chinese culture, there's a lot of different symbols and things that symbolize and represent good fortune. And money is considered to be one of those things. So if you give someone money, I agree with you that we would view it more as like, really? You couldn't think of anything more personal?
I think there's some of that in my family's culture too, because I feel like at least maybe it's a Southern thing or something, but I've definitely experienced like it's good luck to have just money in your pocket. So even like if it's not some Christmas or something, just here, hold on to this kind of thing. But I do have a uncle that gives you like your age and dollar bills.
Okay,
just hands out like your age and money to people.
Right.
He stops once you get to a certain age, but like
makes sense.
Below like 30 or 40 or something like that.
Right.
But
that's a fun one though. But yeah, so it seems like money tends to be one that can be pretty popular in China. I think that what we do instead over here is we would give a gift card. I would say for a lot of cases instead of money. I don't know. Money is a tricky one over here because I think some people do definitely feel some type of way, which is kind of ironic because I would argue most people on the receiving end are totally fine with like, okay, you want to give me money? I'm cool with that.
But especially like a coworker, you can't, giving coworkers money is not.
That's a little weird, I guess. That's true. True.
But it's not weird to give a coworker like a Starbucks or Amazon gift card.
Right. Well, different sentiments.
But it's it's just the same thing.
Right. Yeah, it's just a different.
It's like, why are you making me go to? What if we just give out rush cards or like prepaid Visa debit cards? Is that better than giving it? Actually, I have gotten those before.
Which is
something
terrible.
About cash is weird.
Well, I guess in theory, because you can use cash for anything, good or bad.
Don't use this on drugs.
Right,
this is not drug money.
Right. I mean, I know I've had my great aunt say that to me jokingly back in the day. Like this isn't beer money, Chad. Something like that. So, yeah. Let's see here. India. It looks like this is more of just what to do when giving gifts. Maybe you can take a guess. And I saw this also in Ghana as well.
Thank you notes?
You don't want to give gifts with your left hand. And you and I as lefties, we need to be aware of that. Because in some cultures, that's the way you take care of yourself after you're done using the restroom. And so it's not viewed as a very sanitary. So I guess in Indian culture, what you can do is if you accidentally hand somebody something with the left, at least according to the article I have in front of me here, what they'll do is actually use their right hand as kind of like a oops, sorry kind of way to do that. But that's kind of an interesting aspect. But also what I noticed in China when I got a couple smaller gifts from my students. Oh, I moved it to my room, but one of them was like a little kite because I had a student from Weifang, which is the kind of the birthplace of kites in China. And so she gave me one, and when she gave me the little decorative box from her hometown, she gave it to me like this with two hands because that's what they do over there. And then
I've seen that in Japanese and Korean culture too.
And then you should receive it with two hands from my understanding. And that's always what I did. It was funny though because
was there also like a slight bow involved too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah. A slight bow and the funny thing is though, I always felt like kind of a jerk because when I would hand out homework assignments back to the students, they would give them to me like this, and I was walking around and I was grabbing them like this with one hand, right? And when I would give them back to here you go, here you go, here
you
go,
don't have time to individually be like
right. That would take too long. I would be like, okay, class, you need to come to class today 20 minutes early. I'm handing back your homework
from all these.
Exactly, all these bows. You have some solid abs, though, dude. Just some rock hard abs from all those bows. Like, what do you do for a living? Yeah, I hand out homework in China. But yeah, okay. Let's see here. I'm not going to cover all these, but some of these are definitely interesting. Okay, Japan. Gift giving etiquette here. So stipulate that presents should be refused, and I think they also do this in China.
It's like a pleasantry.
Refused up to
Please,
3
okay.
times until they're accepted.
3 times.
Uh-huh.
Jeez.
Right.
See, that gets old. I understand what they're doing in the.
Right.
In the
It's about humility.
but
and-
it's just like we all know you're gonna take the damn present. Just take it.
Right. As I mentioned with Russia, due
Vodka.
to Soviet cultures, well, first of all, that's how dare you, first of all. I say that joking and kind of not joking, because put yourself in a Russian person's shoes. I'm sure they get so many Westerners saying, "Oh, you're from Russia, you drink vodka." But on that same vein, I remember asking my ex when I was still planning on, going over there and visiting her and her family, what should I bring? And she did say, well, maybe some finer whiskey or cognac or something like
But
that.
not vodka.
But no, because I think that's
just generic.
yeah.
That's just like the generic booze
Exactly.
over there.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like if you came to America and as a gift, you got them fucking McDonald's.
Oh.
I mean, Bell's I'd be happy with that gift. I'm talking more your stereotypical,
Sure.
what everyone thinks we like or we
Sure,
consume.
yeah. I gotcha.
But another
Or like
interesting,
Budweiser.
right, exactly. Yeah, if you brought me some Miller Lights as a present, I'd kind of be like, really, you're gonna out of all the gifts you could give me, Miller Lights.
I respect your culture.
Right,
And I know
exactly.
you guys love this.
Right, exactly. So in Russia, though, I guess due to previous Soviet times, a lot of people will kind of side-eye you or be a little suspicious or skeptical if you give them a very expensive gift.
Like a bribey.
Because it's kind of
What are
bribey.
you trying to get out
exactly.
of this relationship.
Exactly. Now, I think it's one thing if it's like a serious partner or someone who's very important to you and you already have a very established relationship. That's different than if like your brand new business partners. It's like, here's
Yeah.
this fancy Rolex for you.
I think that's dangerous.
You know.
I mean, I don't think that's dangerous in work in general.
Yeah.
Like in general, you kind of got to have like at least in my mind, it's like $25-$30 cap on what you're going to give someone as a gift, like
Right.
a coworker as a gift, because then it starts getting weird. It's like, what's this supposed to mean?
Exactly. Here's an interesting one from India. Also giving odd numbers if you do decide to give money. So that is kind of interesting.
Give odd numbers.
Yeah, you want to give odd numbers.
Interesting.
In India.
I'd imagine the
So
odd numbers would be the
$11.
unlucky one.
Yeah, and I'm well. Let's see if there's a reason why odd numbers are lucky in India, especially numbers ending in 1. There's a couple of reasons for this.
Here's $31.
Right. The first is that 1 signifies a new beginning, whereas a round number appears to signify an end. The second reason is that giving money in an amount ending in 1 brings prosperity, because the extra number is a sign of growth.
Sure, just like superstitions,
Right,
and
right.
yeah, culture and stuff.
But that's a good one to know. So give
Yeah, that
odd
is good
numbers
to
if
know.
you are giving money.
But I
in India.
imagine, I bet you, and maybe your list won't show it or it does, it doesn't matter, that there is a place where it's probably better to give an even number than an odd number. I feel like the United States is an even number culture.
Yeah, I think so too. Because it's
I don't know why I feel
it's
that
because
way.
we like the fake idea that we have things in control. And I think even numbers, round numbers are easy
we
to
can
add
compute
and
those and
exactly
figure them out easily.
Exactly. That would be my guess.
Interesting.
Jared. That's my guess.
Okay.
Let me give you another interesting one, and this one's Chinese culture, and this one is kind of a funny one. And I had a good conversation with my students about this one as well, which is for those of you who are unfamiliar with Chinese culture and customs, it is a very bad thing to do in China, Jared, to wear a green hat in public. Do you know why?
I mean, I imagine there's something unlucky about the color
Yes,
green.
there
It
is.
represents death.
No.
Okay.
What other terrible things could a green hat represent?
Poverty.
No.
Disease of some sort.
I mean,
Sickness.
that could happen to you because of this.
I don't know. What is
Disease
it?
or sickness. It is to represent having an affair or infidelity. So here's the story.
Okay.
Okay, buckle up,
That's
everybody.
Not the disease
It
or
is.
sickness I was thinking about when you said
Well,
that.
no, but you could still get some disease or sickness from this, Jared.
That's true.
And so this is kind of an interesting story. So it goes back to an old Chinese fable.
So you don't trust someone wearing green.
Well, just wait. So here's the story. So the story goes like this. There was a husband and a wife. And when they first got married, they were very happy. Everything was going great. Mm-hmm. Well, just like in any good, and this is an old fable, so we're talking very much more so traditional roles, okay?
Sure.
So in this old fable, the husband was traveling a lot for work. He was gone a lot, and he just wasn't,
I got
because,
needs.
Well, no, he needed... Okay, let me. Here's the.
Oh, I see. I'm making assumptions.
Here's the story. You are, and the story is not going down. I think the same route you would think.
I see.
And so he's out of town traveling and working, trying to provide for his wife and their household. Pay the bills, all that good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. The wife, of course, gets lonely. The husband's gone all the time for work. He's not paying any attention to her. Well, of course, she falls in love with her neighbor who works, I guess, as a gardener. I don't think the profession really matters either way, but the neighbor is there and he's always around.
I mean, it is very stereotypical as an affair.
That is kind of funny,
job.
right? The pool boy, the gardener, right? The plumber, the repairman, whatever. Anyways, so what the wife does, and he's not a gardener. I forget. The neighbor is a textile merchant because there's a reason for this story. I'm sorry. So he's not a gardener. He's a textile merchant, and so what this means is he has various colors at his disposal to make different textiles. And so his wife comes up with the clever idea of, why don't we make a green hat for my loving dear husband to wear before he goes on travels? So when you can or cannot come over, so we can enjoy in our adulterated
when
fun.
He looks out the window and sees the husband.
Sees him trolling around with his green hat. That means okay. And the irony is that everybody in the little village all knew. They kind of figured out what that green hat meant, but the husband was not aware.
Oh, that sucks.
But the interesting thing is nowadays in China, if you wear a green hat, though, it means
move, bro.
you're. But the funny thing is, Jared, is that so the wife was the one having the affair.
So it means you're a cheater, though, if you wear a green hat?
So that's the weird thing is now culturally, if you wear a green hat, it means your wife is having an affair. So it's a way to bring shame upon, and I don't know in China if it's used either way.
So it's just
culturally, that's what that means.
So it's just like, look at this green hat. This guy has no control over his home or his wife.
Well, but see, that's
She's
the other.
Out there getting it.
But see, that's the other thing is I don't know who it brings more shame upon.
Sure.
I don't know if it brings more shame upon the person who is being lied to, manipulated.
I mean, theoretically, it should bring more shame upon
the cheater.
The cheater, but obviously,
not the cheatee.
The way I feel like it usually goes, at least for me personally, it's like, listen, I feel I'm very ashamed. You know.
Exactly. So you shouldn't be giving gifts or be giving green hats or wearing green hats when you're in China. People will kind
of insulting.
Exactly. Because
you calling me a P word.
Right.
Wet ass P word.
Right. The funny thing is, though, Jared, is I ironically almost brought a green MSU hat with me to China. Thankfully, shout out to my good friend Kelly. She told me about this cultural norm over there, and I was completely unaware of it. So do not give a man a green hat in China. So that's a big one. A good gift to give in China, actually, believe it or not, during the New Year are mandarins or tangerines. That's kind of seen as like a nice little. Once again, we're kind of going back though to practicality. These are tasty, scrumptious little fruits. Exactly. Got to stay healthy. As I mentioned, in China, you do not want to give clocks. Right. Clocks signify death and are very, very bad luck. And the other weird one in China, I don't know why this is, but pears signify divorce.
They are green.
That is true. Okay, South Korea, don't use red ink. I also mentioned in China you don't want to do that as well. Let's see here. Japan, interesting. I didn't know that. Wrap your present well. So sorry, Japanese people, but I will not be giving you any gifts anytime soon because I'm a terrible gift wrapper.
Yeah, I get angry when
Absolutely
I'm wrapping
horrible.
Stuff. Damn it.
Right. Also, different cultures, certain flowers are not appropriate. I know in Russia you don't want to give lilies because that is considered for a lot of times funeral. And then in Russia you don't want to give an even number of flowers. You should be giving an odd number.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's still odd number though.
Yep. Okay. Still odd number. You give an odd number. You should be giving 9 or 13 roses, for example, if you are trying to court a pretty Russian lady, for example. So yeah, there's a lot of different gifts that you can and cannot give in different cultures, and it's pretty fascinating.
Sure, there's a lot of nuance,
Absolutely.
Another thing, I feel like people that say, how do you feel about people that are like, oh, you don't have to get me anything when you ask them what they want? I feel like they're assholes.
Well, yeah,
especially when it's like a family member.
Well, exactly. It depends. if it's a friend of mine, and you know me, I mean, we're good friends. If it's a friend of mine and they say that, it's just like, all right, well, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
If it's a family member that like you're kind of more
you're going to be
expected to give them a gift,
you're going to be together on Christmas.
Then that's super awkward. I mean, then if they tell me they don't know or they don't care, then I will get them whatever, and they are not allowed. I'm sorry, but you're not allowed to complain or.
Do you get a lot of complaining from people? Have you experienced any complaining?
No, not really. No.
Yeah, me neither. Those people are definitely.
But
assholes.
I think if you go with what I've been saying, if you go with practical gifts,
sure,
and gifts that just put yourself in that person's shoes for a moment, I think it's pretty easy to give gifts that people aren't going to complain about or be disappointed.
Sure.
Or,
yeah, that's true.
But I'm lucky that a lot of my friends and family, they're not materialistic jerks that need someone to spend a specific right. Oh, you only spent $499 on me. I'm sorry, but I clearly deserve $500 or more. So,
yeah.
So let's end the episode. I thought this would be kind of fun today, Jared. We are rolling up on Christmas time here. If you were to sit on Santa's proverbial lap and tell him, what would you tell him, Jared, that you are looking for this year for Christmas?
World peace. No. I think I'd probably go PlayStation 5.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
With the full...
Give me some price tiers.
I want to go PlayStation 5 with the full rig, though.
Okay, so most expensive gift would be PS5 with the driving rig.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the game.
Okay. Give me a couple tiers here.
I would also like... a new comforter would be nice.
Oh, okay.
For my
That's
bed.
Practical, but also comfy.
Mm-hmm.
And then could tailor it kind of towards your style.
Yeah.
Would your partner be cool if you had a Formula One? Well, she likes Formula One.
Yeah, we both watch
Get
it.
a badass Formula One or Lewis Hamilton.
You get a race car bed?
Ooh, there you go. How would you feel about a comforter that's kind of like that old school when we were a kid? And that carpet with the streets on it, you know what I'm talking about.
I have that
from
that
the
rug.
old Harry Potter closet. Yeah. How would you feel about that rug as a comforter?
I
Yay
think
or nay?
I'd be okay with that.
You'd be cool with that?
You know,
Okay.
it's not my only comforter. I think it would be fun to use every now and again.
Yeah, sure.
I'd be more to me like, do I like the material? Rather than
is it
like,
comfortable?
Then what does it look like?
Right.
Okay. And so I'd say that's
PS5
a good one.
comforter. What else? Give me a couple more.
A gift, as I mentioned at the beginning of this pod, that I always like getting for my family is pecan candy.
Oh yeah,
that's a one I'll never. And so that's cheap. It's $5-10 or whatever.
I like that idea.
I'd say that's it.
That's it?
Oh, and
nothing else, especially this year.
What sort of price
else.
range have I missed?
Okay, so you've covered the very expensive with the PS5.
Yeah, with
comforter,
the full gaming rig.
Kind of mid-range-ish. I'm not actually sure what a comforter costs.
Yeah, that could be cheap to mid-range.
Right.
And I'm always happy with
really
like
t-shirts.
t-shirts.
Okay.
I can never go wrong with a
Are
t-shirt.
there any clothes or things that you like kind of want or need?
I would love like I have the Adidas tracksuit from my old school in Germany. I'd like another one of those, but obviously it doesn't have to be branded with my old school on it. Okay. But I would like a newer one of those.
So like some
Adidas
updated.
tracksuit.
Okay.
I would say.
And I would say that's more mid-range because a decent tracksuit would cost you $80, $100, right? Somewhere in that range.
Sure.
Okay, those are all pretty solid.
What about you?
Let's see here. Really expensive. I can already tell you, and I think I'm already, spoiler alert, I'm probably going to gift myself this for Christmas this year, is a 12-string acoustic electric guitar.
You're trying to get as many strings as possible.
Yep. Got 7. 7 wasn't enough. I need 12 now. I've wanted, but see, once again, I've wanted a 12-string acoustic guitar since high school. Since high school. I graduated high school 2010, so it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And I have enough saved up now where it's to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm just going to treat myself this year and get myself a damn 12-string. So that's my more expensive one. I also I have a couple pairs of like dressier shoes that I used to wear to teach in that I've kind of worn out. The linings coming off of them, the soles have come separated. They're totally messed up. So a couple nicer pairs of work shoes I asked for, and that's what I'm getting from my parents this year for Christmas.
If you ever go back to an office, sure.
Or right. If not, I'll look stylish in my home office, or if I walk to go get the mail, I guess, or, what have you. Let's see here. Maybe a couple like PS4 games. But once again, like I got FIFA already. I really like that, and I play that myself. Some books. Books are always a good one for me. All sorts of different books. Books about music. Books about philosophy. So that's kind of mid-range stuff. Yeah, I would say, and kind of
Those
a
are
random.
good. Books are cheap.
Yep, kind of a random weird one. Actually, would be protein powder.
Okay.
Yeah, protein powder
All right.
would be another one.
Very practical then.
I watch bands.
I noticed you have a couple different ones
Yep,
of those.
yep. Got a red one for the holiday season, and red is
Is
good
that
luck
why
for my
that is?
Chinese students. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. So
wow,
got a red
okay.
one.
Wow.
And these I like these because I can work out in these. They're
Yeah,
breathable.
you like the stretchy ones?
Yep. So those are good. So I watch like a band. I'm trying to think like any other little tech accessories that I would use, like guitar
Yeah.
strings. I can always use. Picks
Tech
I don't really
accessories.
need too much now. Like
I think like a new microphone would be a fun gift. Like I don't
Yeah.
need it,
Right.
but it's thoughtful and it would be fun. Obviously,
would
it'd
be a
have to
good
be better
one.
than this one.
right. The only issue is the good ones I think that we both would like are over $200-300. I
No,
think at this
there's
point, aren't
there's
they?
some nice ones that are nicer than this for like
Okay.
in the low hundreds range.
Okay.
But it's like you'd also that has to be someone that would know what they're doing. You know.
Right. Sure. Yeah, that's or you just tell somebody.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, that's the other
true.
thing. Like with my resonator guitar years back, I did tell my parents this is the model that
Sure.
I'm looking for.
Sure. Sometimes you got to do that.
You know. So.
All right, I think that's a good list of,
Yeah.
of stuff. You know,
I would say so, too.
It's I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, that's. Oh, I'd also be happy with like some cooking utensil related
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
That could be anywhere from cheap to medium, depending on what
Sure.
you get.
Yeah, that makes
But like
sense.
a kitchen, but not like an air fryer or something like that. But like
Nothing super pricey.
like cutting boards or utensils. You know, a nice knife is a good
Can't
gift.
go wrong with a solid knife.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you know, it's kind of a random gift that I would like. That I should have asked for this year. Well, maybe it's not too late. Who knows? But a bow. I would like a bow,
Oh,
like
yeah.
a bow and arrow, like to
Even-
get into
yeah, you mentioned
archery.
that.
Because I had one when I was younger, and it's
You've grown out of it.
yeah, it's I think maximum 25 pounds of tension, and it's a compound bow, so that's like nothing.
Sure.
That's really so that would be another one. So also, I guess, which leads me to the last point we really could make for today's episode, which is also think about any potential fun hobbies that a friend or family member could try out that isn't too expensive. Like maybe even like some of my coworkers and I, we were talking about this on Friday, doing like a what is that even called? Like a painting with a twist, or like signing up for some type,
Yeah,
crafting hobby or something is a fun idea.
I don't
too.
remember if I did do this or if I was going to. Maybe I'll do it in the future at some point. But like I got my. I don't remember if I did this or not. Maybe I didn't do this, but I had the idea at least of getting my partner like yoga classes. She likes them, but like there's this one place in our neighborhood that is good, but it's kind of pricey, so she doesn't go all the time. And so getting like some yoga classes is
It's a great
is
idea.
good gift. Granted, it's weird to give that gift this year.
Right.
It's like who knows when we'll be able to use these.
Right.
but-
Also though too, like I love that idea, but I wonder. I would be very cautious
about
to,
exercise related stuff.
because I think it
I
could
feel like
send
yoga's
an
on the edge, though.
Right. I think yoga would be okay, and if you know your partner or whoever you're giving the gift is into that,
not
then
like
that's
a-
fine.
But I think I'd be a little more nervous because obviously I know she likes yoga. I'd be a little bit more nervous about getting her like a gym membership or
Exactly. Well, exactly. You have to.
I wouldn't do that.
Exactly. You have to be smart about what does your gift also
Yeah,
suggest or
some new
say.
running shoes or
Right.
something.
But if your
If
partner
she likes
was
running,
exactly
and I know
Exactly.
Yeah. But also a running shoe would be difficult because
Yeah.
you kind of got to know what they want or something.
Right.
But yeah, no, there's definitely.
be careful what your gift
yeah.
might suggest.
I wouldn't do the gym membership.
Exactly. Exactly.
Here's the weight loss program, a Jenny
Right.
Craig 6 months free membership.
Right. Which is funny because if I got either gym membership or gym equipment from my family members because I enjoy like lifting, that would be a great gift. But they
Yeah.
know I like it.
Sure.
Whereas if I was not into that and it's like, here's some dumbbells for you, buddy, then it's kind of like,
to
okay.
pumping.
Right, exactly.
the message.
Exactly. So let us know what are some gifts that you like giving or like receiving at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can slide into our DMs and give us some gifts or words of encouragement at untranslatable1, the number 1 on Twitter. You can check us out on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast, for all sorts of clips, pics, and other good stuff there. And lastly, please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So we hope you have a great holiday season this year, everyone. We hope that people you are able to give gifts can enjoy those gifts as well, and you enjoy giving them to them. And as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, Dziękujemy. Muchas gracias. Gracias, shisha, and dos vidania. Enjoy the gift-giving season, everybody.
What's this new thing where you always got to end with some
I don't know.
corny
I
message?
kind of like it. Kind of like it. You know, someone has to keep up the corniness level here, Jared. And it's
Sure.
certainly not going to be you, let's
No.
be honest.
No, it's not going to be.
You got no ounce of corniness in you, I don't
I'm
think
not
at all.
saying that. I'm just no. I'm not saying that. That makes it sound like I'm cooler than you or something. And we all
One
know-
could argue that.
No. No one would argue that. As you know, you're the coolest person our friend group.
I
knows.
think that is a ridiculous statement right there in itself.
Maybe
Just-
it's changed a little bit as we've gotten older, but
I wonder who would
think
be
it
the
was-
coolest now, actually. And how do you evaluate that
Yeah,
even?
see, the
you
idea
know?
of coolness is definitely going to change.
changes,
what
yeah.
we thought it was in high
Right.
school or college versus now.
I will argue I probably have one of the nicer, cooler beards. That's one thing I am down to say I'm confident
sure.
in that. Although your beard's starting to grow up pretty good.
No. But Craig has a pretty solid beard.
Oh, he always has, for sure.
So it's
for sure.
He has some stiff competition.
Well, and even if we go back to college and just our fraternity circle, I mean, Rahman
Yeah,
always
he
had
can
a
grow
solid beard.
and overnight.
Right, exactly. And even some of the older dudes. I mean, Julian had a solid beard for a long time
that's true.
too.
That's true.
You know, so
You're still the coolest though.
But I would say in our age group, because Craig is also he's a year younger. I would say in our class, our class.
Okay,
You
we
know?
get very specific.
Sometimes you have to be, Jared. The devil can be in the details, my man.